I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Happy Football Friday. Can you believe it? July the 26th. It's our first Football Friday of the year. Oh, the greatest. This is when we just get in our time. Camp, summertime, but now football. Eagles. So the beauty of our Football Friday, we'll talk to Baldy coming up a little bit later on to kind of celebrate. We'll have our training camp report. We'll go live with Bo Wulf from our all PHLY Eagles show. He'll be live at the NovaCare around 10 o'clock. So we got you covered, man. This is kind of the first of all the Football Fridays. All these years doing this, I love the Football Friday. Obviously, it's a training camp version, and it's not looking ahead at a weekend of slate of games, which we always love, and that gets us. But it's here. It signifies that time. You will ride through August. Unbelievably, I was just looking at it. The Hall of Fame game is next Thursday. So, we're inside of a week before the Hall of Fame game, which gets everything underway. It's going to go fast. And before you know it, we'll be kicking off in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I still can't believe that. Eagles and Packers to open this season in Brazil. And it's just a handful of weeks away. And it'll be on a Football Friday. Friday night football. This is the best. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. And we're brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Check out the credit union difference. TrueMark.com/PHLY. Now, the one thing we have underway, Fightins. Big series. After the off day, we got Guardians, who are tied with the second best record in Major League Baseball. And then the Yankees come in. So you got Cleveland and the Yanks back to back. Now, off day, you hope you get a little mojo back, get that crispness back. One of the things that we've seen over the last three series that they have lost is that they've been sloppy, right? Bullpen has been up and down, inconsistent, and they played sloppy baseball, man. On Thursday, on Wednesday when they lose to the Twins in the series finale, Marsh misplays that ball, and you wind up floodgates, wildness, and it's just they weren't buttoned up. It was funny. I was having this conversation yesterday with my buddy Tooch, and we were talking about him. And I'm one because he's like, "What do you think? Is your faith shaken in them?" To me, it's unequivocally no. I look around and I said, my answer was, look at the rest of the National League. Who's better than the Phillies? All right, we talk about the Dodgers. The Phillies swept the Dodgers. Now, I granted their rotation. Glasnow wasn't there. But you look at that Dodger team, and it's a pretty top-heavy lineup. So let's just say Phillies, Dodgers, powerhouses of the NL. Who else is there? What are you worried about in the National League other than, and his retort was, well, somebody could get hot. And that's true. And we've talked about that all year, right? Larry Boa talked about that. That, these teams that are playing at the end of the season heighten baseball to get into the wild card, and sometimes they go on a run, a la the Phillies 2 years ago. So that's always a possibility. But as far as, being dramatic about things, listen, deadline is coming up on Tuesday. You got to get an arm, right? You need some help in the back end. And we'll see about the bat, the right-handed bat in the outfield. All right. I still think this is a really good team. And when they're buttoned up and focused and in the, playing the way they play, I just think they're really good. I just think That's why I'm really not concerned in that way. Eagles yesterday, the big story, obviously Vic Fangio talks. And I love defensive coordinators. I go back to Jim Johnson and those grizzled guys. And I don't know. I have an affinity toward those old football coaches, grizzled guys. And Fangio is right out of central casting. He's right out of the Jim Johnson vein, right? He's got the big voice, the booming voice that you can hear, resonate throughout the NovaCare Center facility, right? It echoes through all of South Philadelphia. And yesterday, he went after Jalen Carter a little bit. He called Jalen Carter out. It didn't work out great with his relationship with Jalen Ramsey, where he called Jalen Ramsey out. Jalen Ramsey didn't like it. Now, my sense is, in talking to people, that Jalen Carter can take it. And he knows how important Jalen Carter is to this defense. We talked about it. He's got elite talent that's ready to be unearthed. And so if Jalen Carter can be a complete game wrecker, and I think that's what Fangio knows. He knows that Jalen Carter should be his best player. In that front seven, it should be Jalen Carter, who could do everything. And so I get it. He's starting up right off the bat. I'm going to ride him. I'm going to get the most out of him. And we're going to go hit it running. And Jalen Carter is going to be the focal point. And I love it. I love that mindset. I love getting a little teeth back on defense. And, look, I think the kids in the back end are going to be really good. It'll take a little time, but I think they're talented. So I'm curious, and I'm excited to see what Fangio can do with this defense. Now let me welcome in my main man. He's ready to go on a Football Friday. The one, the only, VG Violations Greg.
It's an everything Friday, man. It's I'm overwhelmed right now. I don't even.
Well, you're overwhelmed with all the sports,
It's Football
Olympics.
Friday. We got Fangio talking. Trade season has opened up in
Yeah.
the MLB right now.
Randy Arozarena from the Rays
AJ
traded to Seattle.
Puck,
Yeah.
Pook, whatever you say. He's on the move. We got opening
That
ceremonies.
AJ Puck was the guy. He was a high pick, number one or two, I forget. But he had the big arm, and he never really.
Yeah, he's always been a guy.
Always been hurt. Never really, kind of reached his potential.
Mm-hmm. Opening ceremonies, 1:30 this afternoon. I'm ready to go for that. I love it. Yeah. They got Snoop Dogg carrying a torch yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go
in
with
the
this
Paris
Olympics.
suburb.
Yes.
There was Snoop. I don't know. I'm sure I'll get into it, but I'm kind of I got football on the brain because it's new, right? And I know it's training camp.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to think about that. I'm reading every piece I can. I'm consuming, watching everything when it comes to football, right? I can tell you, Justin Fields looked great.
Oh, I saw that pass he threw yesterday. Yeah.
Right, Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson, 75 yards. I don't know. I'm really in that mode. And then I'm excited for Phillies because it's the Guardians, good team, and then the Yankees.
Yeah, who are reeling. So I would love to
still
pound on the Yankees.
Still Soto and Judge.
Yeah, for sure. In this ballpark. Yeah. Yeah, and let's not forget about the Flyboys. We got TK with a good extension. There's a lot going on.
All right, well, since we're running through the gamut, Travis Konechny gets the long-term deal.
Yeah.
So our man, Eddie Wright, on the give a yo to Eddie, says Flyers handing out these contracts, 7-8 year deals like it's candy and Halloween.
Are they?
And I was kind of taken aback, and I went, I like Konechny.
Yeah.
And if you surround him with real talent, I think he flourishes.
I agree. I'm just a Zamboner, but he pops off the page to me when I put the game on. He's a guy who's got a motor. He's got some skill. He's got a little edge to him. I never understood why he wasn't captain. I kind of like now. He's got a little leverage with the Torch scenario. He's here 8 years. Torch can't really grind his gears constantly. I loved it, man. I think him and Michkov together, I'm good with this as a core.
Yeah. No, I thought the same thing. I was surprised. I said that to Eddie, and Eddie goes, well, I'm not as big a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Like,
What's he not like? He's
don't
in
know.
the chat room, Eddie. Tell us what you don't like about this.
I just think I think Konechny is like real. Like you look at when anytime you're on a rebuilding team, you got certain guys that are phony that put up numbers or that will get a lot of ice time, and other guys that same thing. You go, that guy's real. I think he's real. I think he's a build piece.
Am I missing? Are they giving away a bunch of contracts? I don't think these guys were. Tippett get a long-term deal, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I got no complaints.
It's funny. Before we get to the Eagles and the whole story with Fangio and how we're gonna how he's gonna fare, I got to ask you about the Phillies. And look, I was arguing with Tooch, not arguing, but we were kind of debating. I said, listen. What are you worried about in the National League?
I mean, you have to be concerned about the Dodgers.
I mean,
Are the Brewers going to get lucky?
I mean, obviously the Dodgers are a good team. I get it. Like, they're still a top-heavy lineup.
They got Kershaw back yesterday. He looked good, but you know how he is.
I mean, I don't. I mean, listen, Glass now is legit.
Yeah.
Kershaw, I'm still on the fence with, and they're going to do something at the deadline too because they have so much invested. But I look at that rest of that lineup and I go, all right, after. Teoscar.
Well, they're going to get Mookie back.
Yeah.
And it bolsters it a good bit. And they're going to do something. The Dodgers. They always get a big name.
And listen, we thought it would be Phillies Dodgers.
Yeah.
But who else in the National League you go, oh, my God, I'm worried about? I mean, the Milwaukee.
Am I worried that they can win the World Series? No. Am I worried that they could be a pain in the ass with the Phillies? Yeah, the Buccos. The Buccos drive me nuts, man. And
really?
I feel like if they creep in, if they make a move here, bolster that lineup a little bit.
Their lineup is hard.
They're just like that pain in the butt team, though, with the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies have lost 2 series to them this year.
I know. But I mean, are you? I mean, listen.
No, I'm not, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
they're just one of those teams that could be weird. I don't.
The Buccos.
Yeah. There's
no Willie Stargell. No Dave Parker.
That city's back alive.
No
with
John Candelaria.
Nah, man, but they're alive with the couple pitchers.
Listen, in a short series, the one thing that Jones is not there, which is big, because in a short series, like it would scare me because you could throw Skeens, and you go, oh no,
you're gonna put up like a 1 run if you're lucky.
Right. That's what's scary.
Wheeler outduels them.
Right. That's what's scary.
Yeah.
But all of that, again, the way they've lost the 3 series, Oakland was a complete response to sweeping the Dodgers and then the All-Star break that week, right?
Yeah.
And then you had the 2 Pirates and Twins.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were a little dead in Pittsburgh.
And the Twins do what they do. They grind out wins.
And they were sloppy. They played sloppy baseball, and the pen is leaking a little bit.
It's leaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's my only. I see that happening for me. The Buccos and the Dodgers. Other than that,
the Buccos.
And I like having
Pirates.
the Buccos being relevant.
Yeah, I do too. They were a team that when we were growing up, they were good.
I hated them.
And
they were good, but they were like in your face.
Yeah.
Braggadocious.
Yes. And I could close my eyes and think back on the Stargell and Richie Hebner and
Cobra,
Mike Easler, Dave Parker, Manny Sanguin, Phil Garner, Scrap Iron. Yeah, and all those dudes. Oh my God. Yeah, all that. That's funny. They had that kind of, and they were always up until they fall off the earth.
Yeah.
Remember, in the 90s against the Braves, I mean, they were that great NLCS.
Mm-hmm. That's when Thin Bonds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sid Bream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made the song too back in the day too, I think.
The We Are Family.
Yeah.
They were the We Are Family. Wow, the Pirates, man. You're afraid of the Pirates. That's interesting.
So let me ask you, are you surprised? There are rumors out there that Dombrowski's sniffing around for a rotation arm. Does that surprise you? John Morosi reports that they've been kicking the tires on Crochet and Jake Flaherty.
Yeah. Jake Flaherty from the Tigers, who's got a big arm.
Yeah.
And
he's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah. Crochet, I don't even understand why the White Sox want to trade him. He's a lefty who's got great strikeouts.
Well, he
miss
wants
stuff.
an extension. He wants it now, and the White Sox don't want to pay him now.
But it's a young pitcher like you're building. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you pay, that's one guy you pay.
I know, but I didn't expect Dombrowski to be looking into that market, but
No, I not at all. Because the one thing that's been solid through the little slump has been the rotation.
yeah,
Rotation's been good.
yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, you to me, you can never have enough starting pitching. So
No.
and I like Flaherty because Flaherty throws hard.
Yeah. He had he's come off a couple injury riddled years where he was mediocre, but
Yeah.
he's legit. He's got his ERA is like 2.49 this year, I think.
And he strikeouts and he's got swing and miss and
Yeah.
he's got a good fastball. Remember Dombrowski, the whole Tiger thing. So he knows him well. You're into the Olympics, huh?
Yeah, I am. If anyone's got in the chat room, let us know some locals that are in this, because I was surprised Alex Coffey, who does a good job at the Inquirer, she tweeted out her sister is in the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, a little picture. So
that's awesome.
I'm not really up on all the locals, but there's got to be a ton of locals involved in
I
this.
would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
What do you not like about the Olympics?
It's not that I dislike it, but I like. It's funny. I used to love it, and over the last few years of last decade,
yeah,
I've kind of fallen out on me.
I mean, I would think you would like this one where it was the scene, the Seine. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
Seine.
you got the backdrop, the Eiffel Tower. This seems like a great opening ceremony.
It's awesome. All right, like that's Seine River is ridiculous.
They've
right?
gotten most of the E. coli and stuff out of it.
Right,
ready to swim in it now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, I love that stuff, right? Like, the whole literary piece of it. But the games themselves, like this, I'm sure. I guess I'll get into it.
Little handball.
I mean, listen, basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about boxing yesterday.
I love volleyball, like the indoor volleyball.
Do you?
I love indoor volleyball.
Yeah,
Olympic volleyball.
Yeah. Like what? Give me if I did my Friday 5 of Olympic Friday 5.
Yeah.
Give me the sports, the 5 sports that you want to see the most.
Yeah, volleyball is number one with me. I don't know why I love men and women's indoor volleyball. The beach volleyball I'm out on. Basketball, of course. I'm intrigued by the golfers. We have golf action going on. I got into tennis right now. All the track and field stuff.
That's never been a true
like
Olympic
the long
sport.
jump, the high jump, all of it, man. I love it. Yeah, I'm in.
Track and field is cool.
Yeah, the shot toss people.
The 100-meter is, I mean, that's a staple.
Yeah.
Fastest man on the planet.
Right. The hurdles, but then you got like those
hurdles. Do you remember growing up, the hurdles were unbelievable? Like, I used to like the 300-meter hurdles.
Dude, the way their legs go over those hurdles so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
You get
those meatball guys come out with the shot puts. They're like,
yeah.
Hammer
they all got
toss.
the Baldy heads.
Yeah.
Like those square heads.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah, like right. I am so in on it.
You got those Eastern European dudes. Are always you always say. You know who used to be? I used to like the weightlifting.
Oh, of course, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Dudes, like, they just have to lift it.
I don't even know what they're doing for like a millisecond.
Yeah,
like,
the jerk. Oh, right, yeah, like the jerk, the deadlift jerk.
Then they drop and the whole building shakes.
And they come walking in and they got the thing on the belly. And, right?
Yeah, their knees are all teamed up.
Yeah, they're just waddling in. Wow, you got me fired up a little bit over
and it's
over the ring.
It's like afternoon live event. You come home, you doze off, take a little nap. You got 1:30. 1:30 the events are going on.
Swimming is,
Yeah, swimming. Come on, man.
Get your Michael Phelps on.
Who was that? Sean
That
Andrews?
was Sean Andrews.
Yeah.
Sean Andrews, Mandrews.
Yeah.
I probably played that so much. So Sean Andrews, for people who don't know, was a draft pick for the Eagles. He was the Andy Reid took him. He was a guard out of Arkansas. And I'll never forget that draft because Vince Wilfork was still on the board. And Vince Wilfork went to New England. And he was a defensive tackle out of Miami. And I loved Vince Wilfork. And so I'm on the air, right, talking about Vince Wilfork. You got to go with Wilfork. So I go to break. I go to a commercial. My phone rings.
Yeah.
It's Andy Reid.
Right.
And he's like, cuz, I heard you don't like my pick. Yeah, I swear to God. I go, I want Wulf. I think you needed a tackle.
Yeah.
He goes, let me tell you something. This kid's a road grader. This Andrews is a road grader. All right, big in the run game. You want to run the ball? I got a guard that can road grade and run the football. And, we'll get him the pass block. And I'll be honest with you. If he had any sort of head on his shoulders, he would have been great. He would have been great. Yeah, he should have been great. But he was
Loop.
Yeah, he was
yeah, man.
Yeah, he was a wackadoo.
Yeah. I mean, he liked the herbs a little too much.
Yeah, like you.
Nah, I have it in moderation. Come on, that dude's out of control.
And he did a rap. And it was get your Michael Phelps on. Get Michael Phelps on. Get your Michael Phelps on. Because it came out that Michael Phelps was a weed man.
Yeah, he enjoyed the greenery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he did a whole rap about Michael Phelps. You gotta get your Michael Phelps on.
I remember that. We had to try to find that.
Andrews.
Yeah.
They brought his brother.
For the Nugs.
And you remember they brought his brother Stacey Andrews.
Yes.
In as a free agent to help try to get the kid's head right.
Couldn't do it.
And that was the infamous, this is Stacey Andrews Day, not Brian Dawkins. We're not talking Brian Dawkins.
People are crazy, man.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, totally
nuts. Right? Like, absolutely insane.
Like, read the room. What are you doing walking in saying this is not Brian Dawkins?
But you can't, one of the things about sports teams is that they all believe that they can control the narrative. Mm-hmm. But on the day that you let your franchise most popular player, Doc, leave, what do you think everybody's going to want to talk about?
Stacey Andrews, of course.
No, Stacey. We're not talking about anything but Stacey Andrews. And Stacey Andrews, there are so many. One of the things we got to do.
They need a psychologist in that front office down there with the Eagles with some of these players they draft. They need a psych test.
Back in the day,
Or even now with Wentz and stuff, they need some psych evaluations.
Yeah. No, if you go back to it, there's been
maybe talk to the fireman. Maybe he wants to be a fireman more than a football player. It's so bizarre.
The fireman. What was his name?
Danny
Watkins. Out of Baylor. 25-year-old guard out of Baylor. I'm thinking, what? You take a 25-year-old guard. That's great.
Hey,
we're talking football.
We got some yos. Matt Decker says Ariana Ramsey's a rugby player from Upper Marion in there, and Amy Wang.
Rugby player. That's cool.
I saw yesterday South Africa versus New Zealand in rugby. That's powerhouse matchups.
Dude, you're starting to get me excited.
Matt Decker also. Amy Wang's playing ping pong. She's from Sewell, New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Little badminton.
Hey, by the way, God bless though. If you think about it, if you're competing in the Olympics, in any sport, and you're in Paris at the Village, what an incredible moment in your life.
Yeah, that's a party.
I mean,
Well, they always have the prophylactics. Yeah, they go by thousands and thousands of them. You got a bunch of young, beautiful, fit people hanging out.
It's a party.
In Paris. You kidding me?
It's a party.
Yeah.
All right. We got to tell you about some good stuff. How about Game Time? Yes, the Game Time app, which we love the Game Time app. Here's amazing. When you go to any game, I was thinking about tonight. I was thinking maybe heading down tonight, taking Moss down.
Oh, it's great weather.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know what? This might be a good night to take Moss down and go see a little fighting. I'm going to check out the Game Time app, all right? Because the beauty is the one of the features is you get to customize your spot, all right? I mean, it's great. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy MLB tickets for every kind of event in our area. Views from the seats. Check out the views actually from Citizens Bank Park. You can be there and go all right, here are these seats, and you can see the vantage point from the seats. Lowest prices guaranteed. They have cancellation protection. They even have like job loss protection. It's amazing. You can save more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. It's pretty cool, man. All right, do yourself a favor. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with GameTime. Just download the GameTime app. You create an account, all right? Use the code PHLY. You get your $20 off your first purchase, all right? Again, use the code PHLY, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code PHLY, $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. That's the GameTime app. I'll be doing that tonight. The Anthony's down the shore.
Oh yeah, with some friends.
Yeah, he's going to Ocean City. My wife's going out with my sister. They're going to have a girls' night out, and it's me and Mas. And I was like, "What do we want to do tonight?"
Yeah, why aren't you at the ballpark?
So I was like, "Dude, maybe Fights action."
Yeah,
right. And so he doesn't even know. Then I want to tell you about True Fan Travel. We love to travel as Philadelphia sports fans, right? Like, there's something about like that legion of Eagles fans and Phillies fans and Flyers and Sixers, our 4-for-4 crowd that loves to invade other stadiums and ballparks. You got to know True Fan Travel. It used to be Philly Sports Trips. Vince Rizzuto, who knows how to put on a trip, all right? If I told you how I've done many trips with Vince, and it's all first class. You stay at great hotels. There's always great events, great tailgates. Bob Cavanaugh handles all that stuff, the Cavs catering, all the great food. They take you to great spots, bars and restaurants, and events. Like they always have, could be a special Eagles ambassador or somebody from the Phillies, someone to give you, a hangout with a Q&A over a happy hour. You want to make memories, you got to go to truefantravel.com. Check it out, all right? Find your next adventure. There's amazing, the Brazil trip is still open, I think, right? You got New Orleans, you got Tampa, you got Los Angeles. The away trips are great. You got great bus trips to Washington or the Giants. Dallas, you can go to all kinds of fun stuff. So check out truefantravel.com and look at the menu. It's there. Great stuff. Great trips. All right, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll talk to the brain. In about 20 minutes, we will have our training camp update. Bo Wulf will join us. Then Baldy. Then, of course, we do our nugs. And then TV Todd. So we got a full slate ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, full slate ahead.
I love Fridays.
Yeah, so do I. And this is our first football Friday, all right?
Yeah.
You were in the spirit. I never wear the team stuff.
Oh, that's a good shirt.
All right.
I like the embroidery on it.
But I was like, it's a football Friday.
Yeah.
And this takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
I go, I want to.
Yeah, I like that shirt a lot.
I love I love it. And I'm so excited for this Eagles team. Let me ask you about Fangio. What was your take? What was your when you heard him speak yesterday?
Yeah.
We called out Jalen Carter.
He's calling out a few people.
Yeah.
Huff.
Yeah.
He's not singing Huff's praise right now. He's not a three down
He's
guy.
like your defensive coordinator, Torts.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And Torts is a little off kilter for me, a little radical.
Well, and that's really my question for you.
Yeah.
I mean, because
you want to hear. I got a little piece queued up with Fangio.
I love it. I love me some Vic.
Do you hear him talk about analytics?
Yes.
All right, let's watch
yeah.
this.
Fangio.
Look, picking his ear.
Off my own way for years, and I don't share my process with anybody, and even fellow coaches. So I believe in analytics. I think analytics people miss the boat a little bit on what's important, but I'm not going to tell them what's important. I do it myself.
I'll go on that too. So
What's that?
When you say you do the analytics yourself,
I along with what they give me.
so they give you the information, then you process it the way you want to process it yourself.
No, I have a way of I have a system outside of that I use, and I'll use whatever they give me and decide what's relative and what isn't relevant, huh?
No, No one else knows your system. None of your proteges have ever.
No. I've been doing analytics.
I'm gonna
Wait, any of your proteges ever? No.
I take what they give me and I process it my own way. I'm gonna interpret that for you.
Yeah.
This is the analytics they give it to him.
Yeah.
Throws it out. That's his system with the analytics.
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? Like
Yeah.
when it comes, listen, I think it's obvious and duh to say that analytics matter, of course, right? Like anything that you can get, right? Any sort of data info that becomes part of the equation. My issue's never been about analytics in general. It's about using it as a religion because there are analytic zealots that will strictly go by the numbers. And listen, I think they're completely relevant, but can they tell you what play to call in a situation, 3rd and 1, that reads in crowd, momentum,
right?
Where, injuries at the moment, all that stuff. Like you could see and you could reach any kind of situation, 3rd and 1 on the road in the 3rd quarter, down 7. Like they'll spit out
right. You give
whatever.
me the odds,
but you got to read. You got to read the room, man. You got to read the situation. What's your momentum? Like momentum is real, and it's something you can't quantify.
Or heart, guts. Clutch. I know they have clutch stats, but I mean, I like when he's like, yeah, they missed the boat a lot, and they do miss the boat a lot. That's perfect,
and they do.
And I don't know, Jordan Davis. He's got to bend his knees. Even I know that. I've heard 3 players say this. So when they're watching film, people are just like, dude, you got to bend your knees. What are you doing? Like, how many times does he have to give this to you?
Right.
The whole team, the whole city knows it now.
Right.
That he gets more leverage and power if he just bends his knees. So I like it, man.
Well, the good news about Jordan Davis is he's looked a little more spry.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty good yesterday. So do you worry at all? Like, here's the thing. The league has gone to very young coaches, right? Where they believe that there's a relatability thing. Does that concern you at all with Vic?
No, not on defense. I don't know why. Defense, maybe we're just old men, but I love the crotchety old defensive guys.
I know.
Big. I
know. It started with Buddy Ryan, Bud Carson.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go all the way up.
Yeah,
through Jim Johnson and
we had our decide like a younger guy, like,
Gannon.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. I want the
I think defense because it's so like base, right? Like it's primal.
Yes.
Like that side of the ball is primal.
It's a mentality, man. Yes.
Like, it's more instinctual. That's we've always talked about this. That on the offensive side of the ball, it's cerebral, right? It's understanding execution. Whereas on the defensive side of the ball, it's true, instincts and, primal hunting.
Yeah.
Like go hunt, go eat.
Yeah, it's that assassin mentality. I mean, the coach has got to put them in the right spots, of course, but there's something else to it on defense. I love the Fangio, especially with the Huff. He's not a Howie guy. He's not just a Howie yes guy right now. Like Huff is a big signing. We swapped out Hassan Reddick for Bryce Huff. And Fangio's telling you he's got the possibilities to be a 3-down player, but he's not one right now. Like that's nice coming from the coordinator.
Well, and look, I believe this, right? I know he rubbed Jalen Ramsey the wrong way in Miami. And there was a lot of talk about that. Now, corners are a little different.
Like wide receivers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it is just the further away you go from the ball, the more diva you get.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like especially if you're an outside receiver.
Yeah.
You can see some of the slot guys are more tougher than the outside dudes, like the true outside guys. And I think the corner has a lot of that in them. A defensive tackle like Jalen Carter, I'm happy. A guy like Huff or a guy like Jordan Davis, like you're a big boy. You got to be able to take it.
Yeah. And corner is tough, especially in this league. They're set up for failure with the rules. They're on an island out there. So, they're a head case. I get it. tread lightly.
Yeah.
But if you're like an interior lineman, nah, man, go have at it with the feast on Jordan Davis, you know?
Yeah, and again, I think now you don't go overboard, right? Like you're not going to. This is not back in the day where you're making George Hegeman.
Oh no, you can't do
push
that.
the sled.
Yeah, you do that to Versace, he's a mess.
Right,
These
like,
kids these days,
right? You're not going to. You just. It's just not the way it is. It was funny. We'll talk to Baldy, and I was at his house yesterday, and we were talking.
Oh yeah, nice. What is going on over there?
Quick, too. Well, I got to describe this real quick. This is great. You go into first of all, it's a beautiful house, right?
Yeah.
So you can only imagine. It looks like a Tuscan villa.
Of course it
right?
does.
It does. Like, you walk into this house, like around the side,
Yeah.
and he's got this ornate backyard with a koi pond, right? A greenhouse, this beautiful winding pool with a waterfall,
Oh,
right?
man.
The big slide, and then the house goes up.
It's like a Playboy mansion over
yes, yes,
here.
yes,
The grotto.
yes, yes, yes. If I told you, I was like, and then he's got frescoes painted.
Of course.
Right? If I told you, I would I've been over his house a million times, right?
Yeah.
But every time I go over, I go, damn, man.
Man, what am I doing wrong?
Oh my God. I wouldn't mind having just give me a room.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like it's like a hotel.
One day a week.
And it's like you walk, and it's funny because it's all off of a pretty busy street, right?
Yeah.
But the minute you go into the backyard, it feels like you have escaped into the hills.
Does he have any animals?
Tuscany.
Any pets?
No,
No pets?
no pets.
Any music playing?
Usually there is, but not
Yeah.
yesterday.
All
Yesterday was business. There was all about. Yeah, I think I heard I heard projector or tape. He was watching tape. And came, I'll be there. I'll come. I'll be right down. All right.
Does he have like a butler meet you at the door?
But anyway, we were talking about this camp thing, and you push guys, like he'll tell you those horror stories of 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and it's blazing hot, and it was crazy. It was almost like military.
Yeah,
The
they
way-
don't even know your name. 28.
Yeah,
93.
Yeah, and all they did was scream and yell at you.
Yeah.
Like that's not good.
No,
like you
can't-
can't treat people like that.
Can't do that to a guy guaranteed $50 million at this point.
Right. Like you
Yeah.
guys just go, nah, I don't think you're going to talk to me that way.
Right.
Like I do believe in correction and hard work and all, but there's a point where you can't go overboard.
No, yeah, I heard Devin White, a clip of him yesterday, just saying Fangio's just calling people out in the film room and stuff, and not in a way that's derogatory, but
Right.
in a way that's
Hey, Jalen.
accountability and responsibility.
Right, and there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
Where you go, Jalen, well, in that spot, like stop it.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you supposed to do there, brother? Like maybe in that spot you go here.
Yeah.
I
I do love the bend in the knees. It seems like he has enforced the whole defensive line right
Yes,
now, knows
yes.
that this kid needs to work on
Yeah,
this. And how many times in the film room, if he calls him out on it, the team's got to be like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, no, listen, that's
Is Nick the luckiest guy right now? After hearing what you're hearing, the offense, Hurts looks fast. There's motion. The offense is looking crisp. We got Fangio here. Is Nick the luckiest guy right now? He's got two dudes who seem like they got the team on the right track, and he's just got to be cool and pop in and
He
out.
doesn't do anything. I mean, he acts like he doesn't do anything. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he seems like a lucky guy right now.
This portion of the program brought to you by the Bet Parks Sportsbook app. Yeah. Time now for the brain.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
Hello, brain. Hello. We can't hear you, brain. We can't hear you. Brainy. We don't hear you. We can VG reads lips.
He's got a nice crisp white shirt on.
Yeah. He does. He looks good. He looks very
The sun glowing on his left side. It's
yes.
nice.
Yes.
He's still rocking that Breakers hat. He's liked that
Yeah.
hat this week. Trying to
He's
get some
been wearing
brownie
that-
points
he's been
with
wearing
the
that hat
girlfriend.
out.
Yeah.
Look at him. And like,
Yeah.
we still can't hear you, buddy. Yeah. All right.
He's
well,
saying, take the Phils. Phils are a lock tonight.
you know the best. Maybe
Can you hear me
want to try
now? Does it work?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Put your volume up.
It works now?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. It's funny. I had the headphones on. I don't. Maybe it had something to do with that. You can hear me, okay?
You're a little louder though. You're a little muffled. So try to turn your.
I don't know. It's funny. I had the headphones in. Hang on for 1 second. I just want
to. You're good. You're good. Like, just roll with it, buddy.
Okay. All right.
It was funny.
Sure you can hear me.
You got a lot of fans because you're a character, Brad. You are a character. My buddy Toot said that. He goes, you know, I love the brain. Like, he comes on, he's like disheveled, like the thing's not working, right? You're saying, all right, we got the brain, we love the brain. And then the brain comes in and he gives you this incredible sports wisdom.
Yeah.
It's priceless, buddy.
2 things I'm good at: eating food and talking sports.
Brad, we got to have a talk with you about the great intern, your wonderful son, Versace. A little moment of hubris yesterday. He was yapping to Jamie, was playing a franchise college football 25 game, and Versace was giving him all kinds of advice and then said, I'll take Kennesaw State, and you could have Georgia in Georgia, and I'll beat you. And Versace got smoked. Kennesaw State guys are extremely slow trying to chase the Georgia kids. Yeah, he was talking a big game yesterday.
That was, chewing off a little more than he could bite there. Yeah, no,
yes, he did.
I know he likes those games, though. I think he's pretty good at them, but I'm not positive. But I think he actually is pretty good. That's what he says. We probably played like 80 times in that game, and he was 80-0 against me. But there was one time, you can ask him the story. I still remember it, no joke, because I was winning the game, and I'm trying to remember, like, he was out of timeouts, and he wasn't going to get the playoff, and he begged me. He's like, he kept hitting, like, the thing to pause the game. He's like, Dad, please call a timeout. Please, 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 I'll do anything. He was, like, at his own 20-yard line. I'm like, all right, I'll call a timeout. I don't know, just like, what are the chances of throwing an 80-yard touchdown last play of the game? Sure enough, Antonio Brown caught an 80-yard touchdown last play of the game. The only time I ever could have beaten him, I called a timeout to give him that chance. And, I still remember it. He still makes fun of me about it because now he beats me by 50 points.
Right.
That's fabulous.
Yo, how about that Mets last night pulling out the win over the
Braves?
Well,
no, we talked about it though, guys. You know, we talked about it and we said, listen, that could be a 2-1, 3-2 game. By the way, the Mets, I got to tell you, want to talk about a sleeper team that, again, I'm not overrating them.
I know they're playing,
but they're good.
Great ball over the last 6 weeks.
They're not fake. I mean, now you're getting Cody Senga back. Like that's a like a legit guy that can match up with the Wheeler or Nola.
They're good. They are.
They're good, and I think they're going to make the playoffs.
If they were smart, they would go heavy into the deadline and try to get a couple pieces because they're a team that should be a buyer because they could be dangerous.
Somebody needs to take.
They could be dangerous. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the kind of team. It's funny. You want to talk about a team that's going to get huge odds. I don't know what the odds are on Parks right now, but again, like can a team like that? Severino's been a great pickup, and now with Senga, is that a team that could cause some problems? Yeah, it is.
I know.
think it is.
We hate them, but yeah, no, you're right. I mean, look, you got you got Lindor, you got Nimmo, you got Alonso.
JD Martinez has been great.
What's that?
JD Martinez is after a slow start has been great.
I know it was a great
pickup. That's all the
pickup.
guy does is hit.
I know.
That's all.
Listen, you got like good veterans. You know, you got McNeil at the bottom of the order. Like they have.
Well, Alvarez is a great catcher. I think Alvarez is.
Yeah, I do too.
Right up there is the best hitting catcher in the league. So I mean, it's not an impotent lineup, and it's a team that, I'll be honest with you.
They scare me more than the Braves do.
The Braves,
oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've been betting every day. I've been betting the Braves under in season wins. They keep pacing the Braves like they're some 97-win team. I'm like, right now, Anthony, you and VG would be battling who's hitting third for the Braves. Okay? The Braves cannot score right now. We talked about it. They listen, they have really – Riley's been below average in what he was. Olkin's having a career worst year. They lose Acuna. They lose Albies, who are their two best hitters. They can't score. Ozuna's a stud, but they can't score runs.
No. Olsen is slumping, and Riley has just been
He's slumping.
pedestrian. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sean Murphy was great at catcher last year. Has been very poor. This is a team that, I mean, they again, listen, when these things happen, this is what, again, baseball is different, and I don't need to explain this to you guys, but when you follow basketball, Joel Embiid's never going to have a year where he averages like 9 points a game unless he's 40 years old, right? Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
in baseball, you can get a guy that was great like Matt Olson, who was legitimately great for 4 straight years. And then this year has been just god awful because baseball can humble you. It's like golf. You can't get humbled in basketball if you're great, but in baseball, you absolutely can.
Oh, yeah, totally with you. The Olympics start today. Brain, are you? Do you wager on the Olympics? Is there? Do you handicap it?
I personally really don't, to be honest with you. I do have. Sometimes I'll get like a tip from someone who's, who follows it, who's like a professional, and they get information from someone. Listen, those lines again. I don't know it well. Again, I don't gamble just to gamble for enjoyment. I always say that. Like for me, this isn't like eating food where I was like, oh, okay, or sipping a cocktail. I do this only to make money. I don't do it for enjoyment. I can't stress that enough. I do it if I see an edge, if there's something I think I can profit on, and then I'll gladly do it. I don't care what it is. But no, I'm not just going to force a bet because the Olympics are on or whatever. It has to be something I truly think edge on. And again, I only have so much time. I'd get yelled at like you wouldn't believe if I spend any more time doing this. From the misses. So I can't, I only have so much time in the day handicapping like all the baseball I'm doing right now. For the Olympics, I just don't, yeah, I mean, I will say this, the saying where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, again, the Celtics proved me wrong because I thought the Celtics were a team, Anthony, when we saw them against Cleveland, Indiana, where they were just right there for the picking, and I was dead wrong. I do think the U.S., maybe not to lose, but I mean, if they're laying these big 15, 20-point numbers against some of these teams, again, maybe not to lose, but maybe just not to cover, because it seems like, to me, having watched every one of these games, they're not just going to come in here and be 1992 Dream Team.
So, you know what the funny thing about it? He's talking about fading the USA.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you he does it for a living, because who in the right mind, talk about unpatriotic.
Right.
Like, you're going to fade the USA?
Look, I'm fading. If my kid was a pro golfer, I'd be fading against him if he's laying too much of a number. Okay?
I'm sitting here looking at the odds for artistic swimming duet. Apparently, this China duet's pretty tough. Heavy favorites.
Well, what?
Listen.
They actually have that on the park site?
Yeah, I'm on Bet Park.
That's crazy.
China duets, even money.
Oh, my God. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. All right, buddy. What do you got tonight? What are you looking at?
A couple things for you tonight. And again, they just added, Anthony, it's funny, they just added Randy Arozarena. I know we talked about him as a name for the Phillies about 6 weeks ago or something like that. But the Seattle Mariners lineup, I want you guys to take a look at what their lineup is. I dare you to find the worst lineup you've ever seen in your life. I'd go that far. They can't score a run.
You know what's funny? It's interesting because their lineup, and they've changed a lot of it. Like they brought up like Vossler, right? What's his name from the Nationals? It was hitting 2-4.
Victor Robles.
Robles, yeah. Like
who was like a 190 hitter for 5 straight years in the Nationals.
Yes, horrible. Now I like the catcher Cal Rowley. He's decent.
He's a good power hitter. Yeah, he's a good power hitter, low, but again, 200 average. But yeah, he'll hit 30 home runs.
Yeah,
but it is a god. Now with no Julio, he wasn't even good this year. Which is,
I know.
Again, we talked about baseball, but this is a team, Anthony and VG. They cannot score runs. Okay, Drew Thorpe. By the way, the White Sox, as pathetic, as bad as whatever you want to say about the White Sox, they stink on ice. They have 3 starting pitchers who could pitch for a World Series team. Yes. And that, I mean, obviously we know, what's his name? Oh, God.
Crochet.
Guy leads league in strikeouts. Yeah.
Crochet.
Crochet, Garrett Crochet, who, wants the thing to be traded, a guaranteed contract, but he's been as good as anyone. Eric Fetty's been really, really, really good. And Drew Thorpe, another young guy, 6 he's pitched 7 starts. 6 of the 7 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings. He has a great hits per inning. He's pitched really, really well. Was a top prospect. His ERA in the low 2s. I like him over 17.5 outs, lying at $1.21 on the park slate. Again, I wouldn't do this again. It's 6-1 against everyone, but again, Seattle, I'm just going to take my chances. He continues success against.
Plus,
the
they strike out a ton.
Oh my God, did they strike out, Anthony? I have made, honestly, I can't even tell you. Like, you can't even. It's crazy. How they can't contact on the ball. This team cannot do anything. So now they made Thorpe's strikeouts 5.5. His K rate is just not good. So I couldn't go there. His K, he really should be 3.5. They juiced it up 2 whole strikeouts, which is justifiable, but I can't get there. But I do like the over 17.5 outs. And then there's a guy named Kiter Montero, Detroit Tigers, also has a poor K rate. Going against the Minnesota Twins, I like under 4.5 strikeouts. Anthony, it's only laying, I think, $1.04. Twins, last 30 games, third least strikeouts in the American, actually not in the American League, in all of baseball, third least strikeouts. This guy has a poor strikeout rate. Probably only going to go 5 innings. I say he gets 4 or less. I don't think he gets a strikeout per inning. Those are my 2 favorite bets of the day for you.
All right. Anything fightings? You got any feel for the weekend?
Well, it's funny. Ben Lively, didn't he have he pitched here for a little bit. He's actually Ben Lively's actually pitched quite well for this Guardians team. Now I'll say this right now: the Guardians are a team. I think they're in free fall. I really do. And by the way, I'm going to give you an American League team that I think is my World Series pick is going to be the Minnesota Twins. I'm picking the Twins to go to the World Series. Give me a long shot right now.
You like their pitching.
I backed it up, took off the rubber band. I made a pretty nice sized bet on it. I did. I like the Twins in the American League. I think the Twins are going to come back, win the division. I think the Guardians are leaking oil. I really do. Not enough offense, not enough starting pitching, not enough bullpen. Twins, to me, have a solid across the board. Obviously, they got a lucky series win against the Phillies, but I like the Twins. That's like a long shot bet for everyone watching that I think you should be able to get around the 8-1 area to reach the World Series, and I like it.
They're right now in BetParks, Twins are plus 700 to make the World Series.
Okay, yeah. It's still. I think that. Look, I think they're going to win that division. So what's that mean?
What are they to win the division? Central.
If they win the division,
if
they win the division, which you could bet. By the way, I like that bet just as much. What are they like? Plus what?
170 to win the division.
Yeah, you get money.
I think they're going to. I like that because I think they're going to win the division and get the number 2 seed, which means they get a bye. And I'm sorry. Wait a minute. You get a bye. The top 2 teams get a bye that win the divisions. Right? If you have the 2 best records in baseball.
Are they going to have a top 2 record in the AL?
I think because I think the AL West is garbage. I do. I don't think Houston's only like 4 above 500.
Yeah.
Seattle's only like 2 above 500. So, I think they'll get one of those very important buys.
They'd have to catch the Guardians. The Guardians are 61.
Right. Correct. But that's winning the division.
That's why winning
the division.
Yeah.
And I think they do it. I really do. That's a long shot bet that I think has real legs to it, guys.
The Twins. Wow.
Yeah.
The Twins.
That's interesting. Their lineup's decent. Like,
What's that?
Their lineup is decent. It's a shame about them because if they have a couple players, like if Buxton and Lewis could stay healthy.
Lewis is coming back.
I'm just saying, if they stay healthy, they're 2 mainstays. Correa is back to himself where he was in Houston, so I like him. I like a couple other like Kepler and Larnack. They're not.
They're all. They
got some power.
They're third in the league in runs. They're third in baseball in runs scored.
Yeah.
Again, we played over 100 games. You don't get lucky being third in runs scored. You don't get lucky. You don't BS your way through that. This is a team that can score runs. And listen, they have good, not elite, but good starting pitching. And here's the thing: the American League, to me, the Orioles losing Kyle Bradish, to me, was a dagger. Now, again, they're still going to be strong at the top.
But how about the Orioles? The Orioles are stopped hitting too. They're slumping.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again, you've got to look. The NL to me, the Phillies. To me, the Phillies are the best team. They have they have the elite starting pitching. They have the elite hitting. The bullpen should hopefully come back around again. But to me, the Phillies are relatively bulletproof. The Dodgers, when they get healthy, are going to be really, really tough. There's no team like that in the American League. There just isn't. The Yankees can't win a game.
Yeah.
Baltimore, is good, but I'm just saying, I think it's really open, and I like my instincts tell me Minnesota's going to be a tough out.
All right, Brain, what's up with bet parks? They got the Dodgers plus 175 to win the National League. Phillies are plus 200.
I'm taking the Phillies, all 7 out of the days of the week. I just think the Phillies are better. Again, nothing against the Dodgers. Dodgers are obviously a really good team. But again, I just think in the playoffs, Phillies have the rotation. They have the hitting. I think the Phillies, in my opinion, are the best team in baseball. But again, as we talk about it ad nauseum, we know that the baseball playoffs is like, it's a big roulette spin. And it's just, you could be the best team. Look, the Braves can tell stories. I guarantee you right now, look at the Braves last 2 years. They were better than the Phillies. Phillies beat them 3-1 in both years. Phillies were much better in Arizona, much better. They lost. It's just you just have to, things have to go well in those. That's why when you're trotting out Craig Kimbrell, not to rehash memories for Phillies fans, when they're putting him out there in the ninth inning of these games, Craig Kimbrell, when the guy just wasn't able, they never address that one weakness. And I always say in the postseason, your biggest weaknesses always come out and bite you in the you-know-what. And that's something the Phillies didn't do last year.
Hey, we've been talking about Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale's now the favorite, plus 125. Zach Wheeler, plus 150. Skeens, plus 250. Is Skeens worth taking a shot at?
It's funny. I made a pretty big bet on Wheeler when he was like 4-1 area, and I'm just hoping he can do it. But Sale is phenomenal. Skeens, listen. I never thought the guy would get enough innings, but all he does every single start is go 7 innings. 9 strikeouts and 1 run. I mean, yeah, he absolutely can. And at this point, I think the fact he didn't pitch the first month or whatever, I don't think he's going to get docked for that. I really don't. I think if he pitches, let's call it close to 5 months of elite baseball, yeah, I absolutely think I can. And he has that cachet to him. And if the Pirates make the playoffs, man, I think you could argue he's the favorite.
That's
By the way,
team.
I bet the Braves yesterday at 6-1 to miss the playoffs, guys. 6-1 to miss the playoffs. I think the Braves can miss the playoffs.
I didn't even know you could bet that.
I know. He comes up with stuff. It's unbelievable. That's why you're the Brain. You're amazing.
You gotta find stuff, man. Listen, that's the way I do it.
All right. Well, you can find it on that Bet Park Sportsbook app.
Love it.
All right. That's how you do it. My man, have a great weekend, brother. We'll talk to you on Monday.
I'll see you guys Monday.
All right, here he is. The Brain. The Daily Grind.
He's betting the Braves not to make the playoffs.
I just bet 6-1. The Braves did not make the playoffs. All right.
And I'm fading USA Hoops.
Yeah. Take whoever. South Sudan plus the number.
He's going under in Olympic basketball.
Unbelievable. All right, let's talk about FOCO. Or as they say in Delco, FOCO. FOCO, a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. A product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, novelty items. You name it, they got everything. The best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. You're going to a game, right? Baseball, football, basketball, hockey. Show your love with team-branded friendship bracelets. You got hoodies, you got jackets, you got beachwear, overalls. I can see VG in the overalls. Something I've never worn in my life.
I've never worn overalls. I'm game for it. They give it to us. We'll do a show in overalls.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I get like the hockey, the ice ones are good. Like the orange Flyers ones.
Oh, yeah, we should do the Flyers ones.
Yeah.
I like the orange.
I'm in on that.
Yeah.
There's something for fans for almost every occasion. FOCO. They've hooked up PHLY, all of our fun stuff in our studios. So we have sets, a couple of them all throughout our studio, and they're incredible. I mean, you name it. Like you got a man cave, you got to go to FOCO. All right. They always have our back for Philly sports. They got yours too. Get the best gear around using the link in our description. Again, use the promo code PHLY10 and you get 10% off FOCO. VG, tell us about Rite Aid. Well, I'll tell you about Rite Aid, I guess. If you know,
I'd love to tell you about Rite Aid.
What's that?
I'll tell you about Rite Aid.
Did you? Oh, you want to do it? Here, I'll even give you the read.
Oh, yeah, man. I love Rite Aid. Rite Aid don't pass you on gas.
I thought you took it, yeah. I'm going to be filming something there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we got to go together.
Get Marge, baby.
Yeah, we got to get Marge on it.
What causes allergies? Pollen from trees. Well, Ant should know. Pollen from trees, grasses, and weeds are a primary cause of seasonal allergy. Symptoms flare when the pollen you are allergic to is in the air. It's possible to be allergic to just one or several types. If you're feeling sneezy, runny, and itchy, it might be pollen allergies, which make you feel pretty miserable, but there are ways to get relief. You know, allergy symptoms usually appear shortly after exposure to triggers. Symptoms which may seem similar to the cold. They include itchy, red, swollen, watery eyes. We just do a close-up of you for this sneezing, nasal congestion,
look at my
runny nose.
Look at my eyes.
Yeah.
They are red. Like, you look at them and they're ketchup red. All right?
Scratchy
Like
throat.
they're swimming. Oh, yeah.
Coughing, brain fog, itchy
Always
nose,
got brain
skin
fog.
or eyes.
My skin, I'm scratching.
Headaches, a cough. You develop dark circles under your eyes? Yes. What can you do to get relief during allergy season? Well, sign up for Rite Aid Rewards emails at riteaid.com rewards to receive email pollen alerts for your area. So they warn you, take your pills, take your meds before you go outside. If pollen count's very high, try to stay indoors. Keep your windows closed, run that air conditioner as needed. Remove your shoes and coats near your door to minimize tracking pollen inside your house. I'm a big fan of that move. Take a shower before bedtime to wash away pollen from your hair and your skin. They got a bunch of over-the-counter options available at your local Rite Aid to help you with these symptoms. Try a nasal rinse to help flush out the passages. When symptoms are flaring up, or when you know the pollen counts are high, try antihistamines, such as Loratadine, available at Rite Aid brand or brand name Claritin, or Cetrizine, available at Rite Aid brand or Zyrtec. 1 to 2 weeks before pollen allergies are expected, you really should try and get them into your system.
You know, I'm a mold guy. I hate the mold. Yeah, the mold kills me. That's my kryptonite.
Oh, wow.
Mold.
When the mold flares up, they have nasal corticosteroids like fluticasone, available at Rite Aid brand or the brand name Flonase.
It's pretty good. They think.
And
doing a good
try Rite Aid brand or Nasacort.
There you go.
I mean,
There you go. Go RiteAid.com.
Yeah, RiteAid.com's got all these for you.
Yeah.
So still not enough relief. Ask the pharmacist at Rite Aid. They're always pretty helpful. They never give me a hard time when I have a question. So you can always ask your Rite Aid pharmacist for recommendations on ways to get relief during allergy season. Visit your local Rite Aid today. Stock up on allergy relief or catch up on immunizations for RSV, shingles, and more. Walk in or schedule a vaccine appointment at riteaid.com.
Very cool. Great job, VG. Well, we have reached the 10 o'clock hour on this Football Friday. And you know what time it is? It's time for the training camp update. Bo Wulf, there he is.
BG crushing that ad read.
Was that pretty good? I mean, it was
Rite Aid, Rite Aid, Rite Aid.
Where you at right now?
I'm at home, and I hope that this is endearing to you, cuz I've got the HVAC guy on my roof up here, so there's a chance that he's going to like walk behind me during this interview. I feel like I'm getting taken to the cleaners a little bit, like as I don't know, apparently the HVAC, we need some more refrigerant, very expensive, the Freon. I feel like I'm getting taken to the cleaners, but a very nice guy.
Bo, I listen, my upstairs air is still out. We're waiting to schedule. It's been brutal. It's been a brutal summer. It's horrible. I just want football. I just want fall.
Like a crisp breeze.
Give me, 68, the Canadian air coming down to clean our air. Just the Canadian winds that clean the air. I just want that. Football, baby.
Give me hoodie weather. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. You know what's crazy? I was talking to Baldy yesterday, and he's going to the Hall of Fame game. That's next week. Like the Hall of Fame, it's so fast.
It's crazy. Those teams reported a whole week before the Eagles did, right? Which makes sense. They play that game, but that game is always. I don't know if you feel the same way. It's like, all right, here we go. Football's back, the Hall of Fame game, and then by like the third play of the game, you're like, all right, I'm good with this. Let's get to the regular season.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what's the big story? Obviously, we've been talking a lot of Fangio this morning. And, look, he's unafraid to call out his players. Huff, Jalen Carter. I mean, he makes no pretense. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, first of all, reporters, people talking about the team. We love that, right? Like give it to us straight. That's fantastic. I feel like the Bryce Huff thing is being maybe a little bit too much made of it, because even if you take Vic at his word and Bryce Huff's not ready to play first and second down just yet, I mean, he didn't get paid $7 million to play the run. He's going to need to do that, but he's here because he can sack the quarterback. And if he can get 14 sacks, it doesn't really matter if he's that's what he's getting paid for. That's what the money is for, right? So
right.
I think there's maybe a little bit too much made of that. You can find guys. There are guys on the roster who can handle things on first and second down if Bryce Huff can't do it. And really, I think a lot of that comes down to want to. Like Bryce Huff is a little bit undersized, but I feel like that's probably Fangio giving him a little bit of a kick in the pants, because it's 2 days of practice. They haven't even put pads on yet, so how could he even really say he's not ready to do that, right? But I do like the dynamic of him being honest about where these guys stand and the things that they need to do to get better. He was talking about Jordan Davis showing a little bit of bend in practice, which he hadn't seen him do on tape. I thought that was encouraging, because the truth is they're going to need Jordan Davis to be a little bit more of a better pass rusher and make an impact like he did the first 4 games of the season last year and then sort of fell away as the season went on. They need him to sort of hold up that pace over the course of the season.
So when we look at, this unit, and you look at Fangio, he talked about the analytics, which made me chuckle. Here he is. There's an HVAC man. When we look at, the kind of where they stand, and he talked about the analytics of it and all. I feel, now maybe I'm old school, but I just feel comfortable with him in charge.
That was a very funny answer about how he's got his own proprietary system that he doesn't share with any other coaches that he's ever had before. But I think the point that he made was correct, which is you don't take any piece of information as gospel, right? Give me as much information as you have. Give me the data, and I will figure out what I think I can make of it and what makes sense. And for a guy who has been around for 40 years coaching defense, like that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think you're right. I mean, this is what I said when they signed, or when they hired Vic Fangio to begin with. After the disaster on defense last year, what they needed more than anything else was a baseline of competency, right? I don't think that this defense is going to be a top 5 defense. Vic Fangio hasn't coached a lot of top 5 defenses over the past decade plus. He had the Chicago year where they were the best in football, and a year in San Francisco where they were awesome. But what he does provide is, like, this team is not going to be one of the 5 worst defenses in football like it was last year. They're going to be a professional unit. They're going to know where to be. They're going to have good play calls in the middle of games. Vic Fangio is going to put a game plan together, and this team is built for the offense to have the ceiling, and the defense needs to have that floor. And there's some variability in there. They have guys on defense who could turn this from a top 20 defense to a top 10 defense, I think, if they have big seasons. But what Vic Fangio is here to do is make this a professional unit, which it was not last season.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was, I mean, they were riddled in that back end, riddled. So what's the schedule coming up, Bo? Like, what are we looking at? When do we start pads? When does it start you start to be able to glean some stuff off of training camp?
Good question. So they've got a walkthrough today. They had 2 practices to start, Wednesday, Thursday, walkthrough today, practice tomorrow, day off on Sunday, practice Monday, practice Tuesday, off Wednesday. Thursday night is the practice at the link, the open one, and then they're off Friday. So my guess is that at least that Tuesday practice that comes next week, that would be my guess for the first padded one if it's not Monday. But Monday or Tuesday, I think we're going to see them put the pads on. And listen, for a team that has a lot of questions up front, how is Cam Jurgens going to replace Jason Kelce? What's the deal with Tyler Steen at right guard? Is Mekhi Becton coming for that position? On the defensive line, Bryce Huff, who we have talked about, and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis having to take on a more significant role. Milton Williams, same for him. I want to see these guys put the pads on, and the linebackers too, where we have no answers about who's going to be on the field. Right now, it's fun to watch them throw the ball and cover guys on the outside, but the concussion uncle in me says this is patty cake. Let's get the pads on. Let's play some football.
Yeah, 7-on-7. Does Jalen looks really fast. Does he look that much faster to you?
I don't think speed is what jumps out to me, but knowing that he did not have a great spring from what we saw, and again, we only saw a few practices in the spring, but the ball did not come out quickly, and he was not necessarily making big plays or throwing to anybody other than AJ Brown. He has had a very good first 2 days of camp. And I think more than, you'll read about the completion percentage or whatever, more than that, the ball has come out quickly and on time. I think that has mattered, and he has spread the ball around. I've been encouraged by his willingness to throw the ball to Saquon Barkley because he has not really done that in the past, throw to running backs. But it has also been notable, if we're worried about the speed, that they have had like a lot of called quarterback runs through 2 days. And we're talking about day 1, day 2 install stuff, like the things that are most foundational to the offense. They are running him, and he does look fast, but he's not running away from anybody. I'm not really worried about the speed, but the fact that they're building this offense with his running ability in mind to me is encouraging about.
You got to do that.
That's a superpower, right?
It helps him throw. It helps him become a better thrower because the windows are a little bit more open. It just has to be.
It helps everything. It helps him become a better thrower. It helps Saquon Barkley have better rushing lanes because the defense has to account for Jalen Hurts. And so if Saquon is a bigger threat as a runner, then all of a sudden the play action game opens up and that makes things easier for him. There's no doubt about it that Jalen Hurts' legs change the ceiling of the offense.
Let's be frank about it. He's never going to be, Herbert, Stroud
Burrow,
in that sense.
Right? Yeah.
He CJ Stroud or Burrow. He's just not. That's not who he is. What makes him most effective is him running the ball, and there's a meld of that. That's what makes him the most effective.
And if you just think about the geometry of it, right? We know that Jalen doesn't love to throw the ball over the middle of the field.
Yep.
But if he's a threat as a runner, then the defense still has to respect the middle of the field. They still have to keep their linebackers inside, right? Because they know that Jalen could come bursting up through the line of scrimmage. If he's not running, then all of a sudden they know that Jalen wants to throw the ball on the outside. They can shade things those directions, right? The entire offense is more predictable. You don't have to cover every inch of the field if Jalen Hurts is not a threat as a runner. And so, I think it is important that we're seeing this stuff very early on.
Hey, Bo, these base packages they're putting in, are any of the plays under center? It felt like there was a lot of shotgun last year. And
it seems like there was a little bit more running under center over the first 2 days than there was last season. I mean, last year they ran under center like almost less than any team in the league, and most of those were tush pushes, right? So there has been just an increase, just a little bit in that so far. I don't know if that will carry over to the regular season. I don't know if it's a Jalen Hurts comfort zone thing, but there has been just a little bit more than we saw in the past.
All right, and you see, Nick's got new roles this year. You've seen Nick at the last couple of training camps. Is there anything different about him this year on the sidelines? Is there like more Gatorade handing out, more butt taps, and nice work out there? Like, what is Nick doing?
VG thinks that Sirianni hands out. He's like the water boy.
Yeah.
He hands out
what's
Gatorade
he do with his new role
and pats butts.
Yeah,
that's what VG says. Like. Could VG hate Sirianni more?
It's not a hate. I'm just curious what this role is down there.
It hasn't looked too different just yet. I mean, I think the fact that the offense looks different fundamentally probably tells you that he's doing a little bit less with, actually designing the offense. But in terms of his on-field demeanor, I don't think that has changed a lot. There was an interesting little nugget from Jordan Davis in his press conference yesterday where he was talking about how, Vic probably wants them on defense to play a certain amount of snaps, and Nick has to sort of bring him down just a little bit so that he's not leaning on them. So it tells you just a very small degree that Nick is able to rein in Fangio, and he is the final say on some of these things about like practice workloads and in-game workloads, stuff like that. But I think the biggest differences for Sirianni are things that we don't see just yet.
His face isn't painted down there, the eagle green.
We got to get him to wear a VG t-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get this guy to give the guy a break, man. Anyway, great. Bo, awesome stuff as always.
Hey, get that guy to turn around with his shirt on. Maybe we'll give you a discount. We'll plug his HVAC company.
There we go.
Good luck, buddy. Great stuff, brother. Thank you. 2 o'clock.
Thanks, guys.
Now, everybody has to make sure to watch the All PHLY Eagles show. Bo Wulf, Zach Berman, who do such a great job every day, 2 o'clock.
And wait, big one.
What do you got today? What's the theme?
We want to talk about this Bryce Huff situation, some of the specifics of practice yesterday that Zach was able to see. Want to get into the Vic Fangio conversation that you and I have just had, and just sort of general vibes through 2 days of camp.
Love it. Can't get enough of it. Great stuff, Bo. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Bo Wulf, All PHLY Eagles.
Pretty good Eagles team here.
Oh, yeah.
Our coverage.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Well, look who's here.
Versace?
VG. No, not Versace. The only one that's bigger than Versace, is going to be up. Like, could you imagine? The only one bigger than Versace.
Hugh Baldinger?
Oh, that could be right. That could be right.
I smell meat.
You smell meat? Cook meats and barbecue. That's right. Hey, but first, let me tell you about Parks Casino. Yes. The Excite Center at Parks Casino. State-of-the-art venue inside Parks Casino right in Bucks County in Philadelphia suburbs. What a place to see a show. All right, tickets on sale now for these headliners. The Marshall Tucker Band, August 25th, September 14th. JB Smooth. Tribute Act, September 20th. Best of the Eagles. Country star Dustin Lynch, September 21st. Comedian Tiffany Haddish, September 27th. The Fray, September 28th. I mean, they got everything. All right, it's unbelievable with the kind of entertainment you got. Now, of course, if you can't get there, you got the BetParks Sportsbook Casino app. You can live bet while you watch all your favorite sports. Download the app. Enjoy all the excitement and the action from the casino right at your fingertips. New users, download the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app right now. You'll get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. BetParks.com has all the details. I mean, you got live baccarat, live blackjack, live dealers, all the slots, all the sports, and you got the casino. All you got to know for all of your fun is Parks Casino and the BetParks Sportsbook app. Going to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParks. All right. Don't forget, by the way, Tuesday, the trade deadline show. James Lynch Jr., Nene Washington will be at Murphy's Irish Pub. It's going to be a big-time fun event.
Balls, that'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
That'll be a big-time stuff. There it is. Look at this. It's going to be fun.
That's Jamie beating Versace in college football yesterday.
He got the big
happy.
smile.
Yeah.
He's happy. He said, I got you, Versace. I beat your ass. All right. Oh, there he is. Look at him. The one, the only. He's here. You can't have a football Friday without that man. You're looking live at Baldy.
Well, hey, cuz, listen, it's good to be with you. And I guess this will be the first Football Friday, as we kick off, NFL 2024. And I think everybody just gets lit up on Football Fridays. I don't care what kind of fan you are anymore. It's like we've been building to this point, and here we are, kind of the opening week of training camp. And, I'll be at the Hall of Fame game next Thursday. That's the first game, so Cleveland, Houston. In fact, they scrimmage in Cleveland the next day. So I'll be at that scrimmage the next day. It's either the next day or the day after. I forget. Maybe it's the day after. But they scrimmage in Cleveland right at the Browns facility. So I'll be there for that.
It's interesting because you normally, and I want to start with this because this is like our ode to training camp, but it's July 26th, and you're talking about the Hall of Fame game next week. Normally, and this was back in the day, training camp would have started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I'll never forget, honestly, my rookie year was 1982. And as a rookie, we came in 11 days before the veterans got there. I reported on July 13th. So really, from my rookie years in 1982, so now 42 years, I mean, I always thought of July 4th as the end of the summer for me. Now, I went to Italy this year. You know, I did extend it a little bit. But for the most part, mentally, and I know other players that think this way, July 4th, summer's over. Whatever you wanted to do, vacations, travel, rest, you did before July 4th. Once that day hits, it mentally, you got to shut it down and start getting ready.
You know, it's funny. Vic Fangio spoke yesterday, and he was talking about, hey, you know, install, right? And at mini camps, he's like, listen, that was the install, man. Like, we got to hit the ground moving. He said before we had all those practices, so we were able to move slowly. But now it's like we got to just move, and the installs happening right away. You got to talk about what life was like in camp, right? What was life like and really this is probably, I don't know, 5 to 7 years. It's not like you got to go way back. I mean, this is inside a decade where it's changed this dramatically.
Well, it's funny because just yesterday, I don't know if you saw the video, but in Kansas City, where we know what kind of camp Andy Reid likes to still run, like a receiver catches the ball from Mahomes and he gets lit up, and there's a brawl that happens in the middle of the field. Now it gets broken up pretty quickly. Kelsey's over there defending the receiver that got lit up. I mean, Andy's still hitting to the ground. But I'll never forget being in Lehigh and watching Trotter just level Westbrook. Now there's your starting middle linebacker. There's your Pro Bowl running back, and there's Trotter taking him down to the ground. And I said, and I remember like Matt Millen was out there because he lived up there in Bethlehem, and we're watching this thing. We're like, I wonder how many teams are practicing like this right now. And then last year, I was in Pittsburgh, and I see Tomlin before, and he's like, hey, whatever you need to do, Baldy, you go. Don't worry about anything. Just you go and stand where you want to. So anyways, he goes, by the way, I want your opinion because we're going – he had this one word or one phrase for the type of practice it was. It was all out. Every drill was live, hitting. TJ's out there taking on, you know, whatever. And he's like, just let me know how many camps you see that are kind of old school. Let me know if I'm just, you know, just an old war horse here in the way that I do things. But that's like gone. So back then, in my day, we practiced 3 hours every morning, and then we conditioned. Then we broke for lunch, took a little break. We came back in the afternoon. It was 3 hours in the afternoon, then we conditioned. And we never let up. Now, some teams let up. We went like that all the way until we broke camp.
I mean, you think about that. And that was 3 hours and 3 hours, and it was brutal heat. And it was it's funny. I remember covering the league and being in places like Platteville, Wisconsin, and like they had a cheese league. Yeah. And I remember being, and you stayed in these dorms, and it was 1,000 degrees. Like guys had fans.
Yeah.
It's wild. You know, the like what the environment was like, you know, not that long ago, which is interesting. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. It's just the change is so stark.
Well, when I talk to guys now, like I'm good friends with Andrew Whitworth, who just retired last year. And he played till he was 40 years old. And he played in the old school in Cincinnati where they did 2 days every day. They had long practices. It was physical practices. And then he also played in the new day out there in Los Angeles with Sean McVay, where there's a lot of walkthroughs and this kind of one practice a day. And you couldn't be in pads 2 days in a row, all this stuff. And what he told me was, and I always thought this was fascinating. He goes, Baldy, those walkthroughs to me were like game day. He goes, I never wanted to lose a walkthrough. And, you know, Aaron Donald was on the other side, and Aaron Donald approached walkthroughs like it was game day. And so he goes, I'd see guys come out there and the shoes weren't tied, and they just, you know, they kind of were lackadaisical. And he goes, I just use that time to just hone in mentally on every single skill, whether it was a safety rotation I got to see before the snap, whether it was somebody coming off the corner late or whether we had a combo block in this run game and I had to make sure my steps were perfect to cut off the backside. And so I emphasize to young guys now that because it used to be a walkthrough was a day off, honestly.
Right.
Walkthrough was we're out there working on our golf swings and we're dicking around because we could afford to do that because of all the work we put in. But I emphasize to young guys now, never take that approach. Take walkthroughs like they are game day and mentally make sure that you're doing everything from your pad level to your steps to what side you're hitting with your head, like win the walkthrough. And so I think while things are different, there's still things mentally you can do to sharpen yourself up to get ready for the season.
I love that. I love the nuance of movement, right? And the idea, and I'm a big believer in this. I believe that mentally you can work on that stuff and those breaking it down in your mind, little thing, you said it, how you position your head, right? What steps, because it's so choreographed to make sure you execute properly. Everything really has to be, it's almost like a dance, and that everything has to be almost perfect.
Well, that's it. I mean, it does. And, you know, with the rules have just are in place. So now the teams that are going to get off to a good start or the teams that are going to maximize the days that they're in pads. I remember days clearly being in Baltimore with Harbaugh and Ray Lewis coming up to me before practice. And he's like, if you don't say something about what this son of a bitch is doing to us, he's killing us. And so I said something to Harbaugh about it. And he's like, look, if Ray Lewis has a problem with how hard we're practicing, he's a veteran. It's on him to get out of that drill. He goes, but we've got young guys that we're going to rely on in December that don't know a single thing about this league or this team or how we do things. And we got to break them in. And we're going to need those guys in December and fighting for playoff spots. So I'm not changing what I'm doing. They'll have to just adjust. Now, that wasn't that long ago. And, you know, Ray and Ed Reed, that is, like, they were all bitching and complaining. Now, I don't know if anybody's bitching or complaining anymore, but if I was bitching and complaining to be, am I getting enough work in to get myself ready for week one, to get myself ready for that game in San Paulo with the Packers, who have completely rebuilt their defense with a new coordinator, four-man front. There's Rashawn Gary out there. There's Preston Smith. There's Kenny Clark. I mean, that's a good front, a really good front. And if you're physically not ready for it, you know, you can have your head handed to you on that day.
All right, let's go through some of the plot lines. We'll start, obviously, with the Eagles. And obviously, the beginning of the camp was all about Jalen and Nick Sirianni and being on the same page. And what's Jalen's approach? Obviously, things need to change a little bit in this offense. And then yesterday was about Fangio. So where are you at right now with Hurts, the Eagles offense now under Kellen Moore? They're loaded. Obviously, you're replacing Kelsey, but there's a lot of moving parts. And where are you at Eagles offense?
Well, they finished the season. You always start with how you finished. They scored 9 points in Tampa in a playoff game, and it was ugly. You know, it was a broken offense. So I think Kellen Moore is a big addition. And I think Doug Nussmeier, the quarterback coach, is a big addition. These guys have been around a long time as coaches and players. It's a new offense. They've got short sets now that they haven't had since Chip Kelly was here. Things that can help Jalen in the passing game, getting the ball out of his hands quicker. So that's good. There'll be an incorporation of Jalen in the run game. There has to be. He's just that good at it. But I do think that Howie Roseman did everything you could possibly do to improve this offense as much as you can on paper in the course of 6 months. I mean, you know, having Saquon to hand the ball off to, I mean, you know, there's not a lot of 230-pound backs left in this league anymore. Now, he's not Nick Chubb when it comes to running guys over. He's got a different type of style, but he's still 230 pounds. I mean, he is a big, strong guy that can catch the ball. He can be a finesse guy. He can be a home run hitter. That's that. The offensive line, I know Kelsey's gone, but they did draft Cam Jurgens to be his replacement. Eventually, all pro players, Aaron Donald in Los Angeles, eventually great players move on in every organization. And so the good thing is the Eagles had a plan to replace Kelsey. And now Jurgens has basically played next to Landon Dickerson and, Tyler Steen and Lane. He's played with these guys for now his third year. There's got to be a communication situation there. It might not be Kelsey great, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's not you're breaking a rookie, a guy that's never played. Like you're breaking in a guy that's played the position, knows the position, was built for the position. So whatever battle they have at right guard, they have. But honestly, right now, this offense should be very good because they've got really good players. You win with talent, and they got talented players at every position.
Yeah, just talking specifically about the quarterback, we watched him. We watched that tape last year, and we saw his mechanics, and there were a lot of issues in his mechanics. How's Moore's offense? Remember, defenses, as you know, nobody knows better than you how it's like cops and robbers. And 2 years ago, he was incredible, incandescent. That Eagles run game was unstoppable. That opened up things in the past. And then defenses adjusted. And they forced him to think quickly. They forced him to make quick decisions. And you saw the back half of the season, it didn't work out. What's Jalen got to do now, all right, and under Moore's offense to kind of fix that?
Well, I think, first of all, he's got to accept the coaching. And I think he's the son of a coach, brother's a coach. Like, he wants to be coached hard. Not many guys have been able to successfully do it. Last year, he wasn't coached hard enough. There's too many things that happened on the sideline where he didn't take charge of the situation. So I think from a leadership standpoint, he's got to be better. I mean, let's face it, because honestly, and I don't want to make this as an excuse, but they hand you $55 million a year. Like, things change. Life changes. Yeah. Like, it just does. Like, all of a sudden, the pressure changes. Okay? You're there to deliver, regardless what the coaching is, what the skirmishes on the sideline are, what the egos are. Like, you're now expected to be an elite player every day. So that does change things. And not everybody gets 50. I mean, you give Peyton Manning $55 million and, nothing changed. He was out there to earn it. Now, I know Jalen feels the same way, but things did change. So now that's behind him now. The contract, nobody's probably going to talk about the contract. He's here to elevate everybody around him right now. It starts with accepting what Kellen is doing, being pretty steadfast with how he checks, what he checks to. This is, you've got to be very precise. And so I think just watching him work with him a little bit in the offseason, I think that relationship is going to be good, and I think it should grow. And however Nick Sirianni handles everything, I think he's got Kellen here to call the offense. Nick's talking about walking in defensive meetings. He's the head coach. He's got to get this thing organized. He's got to get this, 53 guys going the same direction. He's got a new staff that he's got to, work with. So his hands are kind of full. This is Kellen Moore's offense. And so I think it starts with that relationship with him and Jalen.
All right, one more with the Eagles, and let's talk Fangio. Fangio spoke yesterday. It was interesting. In practice, he called out Jalen Carter, right? Like, he made sure that, because you so much talent, right, with Jalen Carter, and Vic is going to coach him hard. It was a little weird with Jalen Ramsey last year. I think did not get off to the best start with Jalen Ramsey. He knows one way, right? Can Vic Fangio, can that work here? It's a young defense. Can you coach kids hard these days?
I think Vic, honestly, I've known Vic since he was the linebacker coach for the Dome Patrol for Jim Moore in New Orleans. Yeah. Played against the defenses. He's been around a long time. He's crusty. Like, he's as close to Jim Johnson as we've had here. Jim Schwartz is a good coordinator, did things a different way. This guy's a crusty Jim Johnson. Like, when he barks, you can hear it on the sideline. Yeah. He's not – even yesterday in the press conference, like, he was his thing is I like analytics. I'm not going to let anybody know what I think about analytics. Like, he keeps everything in-house. I tried to get to know him over the years. I know his agent pretty good. He's not an easy guy to penetrate. He's got his way. He was saying, even yesterday, like he was saying about Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff's gone from being a part-time player and, a pass rusher to now a full-time starter. And they're asking him, like, okay, what kind of things are you looking for? He goes, well, I'm looking for a guy that knows how to play the run. I don't know if he knows how to. And you can't tell right now. But he's got to learn it. So he's looking at Jalen Carter, whether it's pad level, whether it's effort, whether it's how he's rushing. Who knows what made him, call him out? Who knows? But his eyes are everywhere. And he's not going to let anybody slide. And he said, look, the linebacker situation is up for grabs. There's competition at corner. Maybe Bradbury's a safety. Maybe he's a corner. Maybe he's both. We don't know. We got to try things out. It doesn't always work for a corner late in their careers to go to safety. Like, if you really carefully listen to Vic Fangio, you learn a lot, and he says a lot. And that was very similar, as you know, Cuz, to Jim Johnson. You wanted to find out what was going on. You didn't go to Andy.
Yeah.
Because Andy was going to stonewall you. He was going to do what Andy does. You went to Jim Johnson to find out. Yeah. Did the defense do it right? Did they make a mistake? Like, who's playing well? He'd tell you.
Yeah. I'm excited for Fangio. Let's go around the division first. Cowboys, the whole talk, CeeDee Lamb not there. They're thin, man. Outside of, when your all eyes are on Tolbert, that's going to be interesting to how that offense works. I mean, I assume they're going to get CD done, but, the run game, you're relying on Zeke, and they're pretty thin at receiver, Baldy.
Well, it's Brandon Cooks, who's long in the tooth. He's on the final year of his deal. I mean, he's still a good number 2. He's still got speed. He can help. But, yeah, Jalen Tolbert's got to step up. I thought the tight ends were excellent. I thought they drafted these tight ends well. They have played well. Ferguson, I think, is a good player. Schoonmaker is a good player. Like, they got Hendershot. They're still going to be a good 3 tight end team. I don't know what they're doing at running back, guys. Like, we know that Zeke is, like, at the very end, he put a lot of mileage on that body of his early in his career, and he was outstanding. He was an excellent football player. Still is. Pass protector, as good as anybody in this business. Receiver, he's good. He just doesn't have the explosive movements that he once had. And that's, that it happens to everybody. But I really don't know what they're doing at running back. It won't surprise me to see them, either make a trade, go to the waiver wire. Like, I don't expect this to be the roster of running backs when the season starts. And so, look, the whole offense went through CD last year. You look at the Eagles against CD, it was awful. It was a nightmare. They didn't have anybody that could cover him. And that's including Slay. I mean, he did whatever he wanted to do, the Eagles. And that guy, I got to tell you, man, I know he's a Cowboy, so, I'm on your show here in Philly, but that guy is as tough as Texas shoe leather, man. You can't intimidate that guy. The harder you hit him, the quicker he gets up. He's just built different. Yeah. I know they said, he's up to 190. It doesn't make a difference what he weighs. That guy, he was like that at Oklahoma because he's a tough son of a gun, man. Yeah. And they need him. He brings a toughness. Like, how many teams do you look at the receiving guy and their leader with 135 catch, you go, he gives this team toughness. He just does. He reminds me of when I played with Drew Pearson. Drew was the same way.
Yeah, you're spot on. Niners have their own issue with contracts. Ayuk. Where's San Francisco? Because it's interesting when we look at the NFC. I like what the Rams look like this year, and I look at San Fran and I go, do they suffer from that Super Bowl hangover?
I don't think they do. Look, Trent Williams and Mike and Kyle Shanahan go back to, Trent's opening early season, the 2011, I think he was drafted. I mean, look, the guy's a great player. He's 36 years old. He's the gold standard at that position. But he just saw Penei Sewell get paid. He just saw the left tackle in Minnesota get paid. And all of a sudden, he's not even close to being the highest paid offensive tackle in football. And so he's right at the end of his career. Like, you watch him, he missed 3 games last year. They went 1-2 in those games, and the offense sputtered without him. Kyle knows he needs him. They'll get something done. It reminds me of last year going to Cowboys opening camp, and Zach Martin won there. And Jerry Jones was like iron-fisted. Zach's got a contract. He's got to be here. And then they acquiesced, and they gave him a deal. They'll get a deal done with Trent. You saw pictures yesterday of Brandon Ayuk standing next to John Lynch. Who knows what that conversation was like, but it's not acrimonious at all. Last year, Nick Bosa got signed on the Friday before their opener against Pittsburgh, and he came out and got 3 sacks in the opening game. I think all these deals are going to get done. Now, I think there is a price limit that they'll go with Ayuk, but he's got no leverage. Like somebody might trade for him now. I don't believe they're going to get top dollar for him as the season has already begun. I just don't believe that. He's an elite player. He's a great route runner. He's their best receiver. He's best in San Francisco. He could put up bigger numbers in a place that throws the ball more. Like Pittsburgh, he probably would really fit in well with Pittsburgh. But, who knows what Russell Wilson's situation is going to be after this year. But they drafted his replacement, Ricky Pearsall, out of Florida, who is he's a great prospect. I don't know if he's going to be a great player. Yeah. So I think they're going to get things resolved. Somehow they're one of those teams, unlike Dallas, that just finds the money for all their great players.
Let's go Lions. Are the Lions the class of the NFC? Hulk Hogan was at camp yesterday. In fact, he said that Dan Campbell's wrestling name would be Dirty Dan.
Well, I mean, he's one of those coaches that the team takes their personality from. Like, he just is that strong of a personality. And he rides them hard. But this is a very talented team. Very talented. Jahmyr Gibbs, like, that kid.
I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, my God.
Could lead the league in rushing. He could lead they've got David Montgomery there, and he sets the table. But Jahmyr Gibbs could lead the league in rushing. He's just that good. They are a very talented roster. They had San Francisco down 24-7 the third quarter in the NFC Championship game, and Dan Campbell made some questionable fourth down calls. They got no points out of it. San Francisco rolled in the second half, and they put up 24 points in the second half. And so they said, okay, defensively, let's go draft the best corner in the draft, they feel. Let's go sign some of these players. They are a very good football team. This is are they the class? San Francisco is going to be good. Green Bay is going to be good. Eagles are going to be good. Like there's some. Dallas should be good, providing that they get these deals done. It's going to be a very competitive NFC.
Is there a team in the NFC that you think to watch out for? I mean, I like kind of like the Rams, as long as Stafford's healthy. I mean, their skill people are terrific. Is there another team that could rise?
Well, I think the Rams are going to be good regardless. I think Tampa is going to be good. I guess the team to look at is Atlanta with Raheem Morris, Kirk Cousins. Yeah. We know, what they have offensively, the skill that they have. The offensive line is solid. They've made some additions to defense. Like, I feel like Atlanta could be a team. They've been 7-10 3 years in a row. Like, can they flip it and get to 10-7, win the division, and do damage to the playoffs? It's all possible right now.
So I know you do a lot with the Jets. Yesterday, a little flash that Aaron Rodgers, 75 yards down the field to Garrett Wilson. If Rodgers just stays healthy, they could be a lot of fun, man.
Along with the offensive line, because it's falling apart every year under Joe Douglas. It's just, I do a lot of work with that team. Like, it's just unbelievable the amount of offensive linemen that have gone down. Yeah. Oliver Tucker. Just you go through the guys. They just got Mekhi Becton. They all got hurt. They couldn't keep a line together. If they can keep this line together, they have a lot more depth this year than they've ever had. If they keep the line together and Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, the talent on the defense, they have never played with the lead in the fourth quarter. But if they turn these cats loose on defense and the way that they can cover on the back end, like they're gonna take the ball away. They're gonna cause a lot of problems. They got to get to that point in the fourth quarter, and that's what Aaron's job is put points on the board and let this defense play it out. They could be very, very good. They got the curse working against them since Namath left. It's been bad. Parcells has been through their, they come off the AFC Championship game the next year. Vinny tears his Achilles. Season's over. Bill's gone. Like, it's just been cursed for 50-something years. So can they get over the curse? Can Aaron Rodgers, stay healthy? Can the line stay healthy? If those things take place, they could be very good.
Who excites you the most in the AFC? Like, who are you enamored by? Which team?
Well, I think you have to look at Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, what they're capable of doing. I think if Russell Wilson gets back, if he plays as well as he played last year or better, behind a much better offensive line, I mean, Pittsburgh, they were 5-1 in their division last year, and made the playoffs with horrible quarterback play. Think about this, guys. In 17 games, their 3 quarterbacks threw a grand total of 13 touchdown passes, and they made the playoffs. And Cam Hayward got hurt in the opening game of the season and missed half the season. Like, if this team stays reasonably healthy, and like Russell Wilson threw 26 touchdown passes last year. If he throws just 26 touchdown passes this year, like this team, I don't know, this AFC North, I don't know how you pick a team to come out of it. They're all good. Yeah, they all have great strengths. So, that's you have to watch that. But I'd say if a team that's in the weeds right now in the shadows, like you have to watch what Indianapolis can do. They won 9 games last year.
That's a great choice.
Quarterback. Yeah. This Anthony Richardson is going to be fun to watch. He's just, I don't know if he's Lamar good. Maybe he might be better than Lamar. He's bigger, stronger, and as fast as Lamar. But I think he could be well coached. They got a lot of talent. So I'd say a team to look at, as a dark horse is what Indianapolis might be able to do.
I love it. All right, so what's your training camp? You begin Baldy's World Tour. Yeah. So what do you got? What are your stops?
I'm going to be at the Jets tomorrow. We got a big national show from the Jets tomorrow. I'll be in Cincinnati on Sunday and Monday. I'll be in Tampa on Tuesday. I'll be in Jacksonville on Wednesday. I'll be at the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. I'll be at the Giants on Friday. I'll be at Buffalo on Saturday. I'll be at the Eagles on Sunday. And I'll be back in Cleveland for a scrimmage with Cleveland and Houston on Monday, and back with the Eagles on Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Baldy.
Yeah. That's before I get to the West Coast. I hope to get to some West Coast scrimmages. Hope to see San Francisco, the Rams. Raiders are practicing out in L.A. now. So I hope to get to the West Coast like after August 10th right now.
That's fabulous. I cannot wait to talk to you during all your stops. This is going to be great. Baldy, you're the greatest, brother.
Thanks, Gus. Thanks for having me, man. And I'll be in touch with you throughout this whole process. And I'll give you whatever insights I see out there. I hope to glean a lot and give you a lot of insight, from the trips around the league.
I love it. Love it. There he is, buddy. The one, the only, Baldy.
He's the best. I love his merch. His hat was a little, I didn't love his hat game today. A little beat up.
The Sack Summit.
Yeah. Sack Summit.
He was down at Sack Summit. Right? All the greatest pass rushers in the game were there at the Sack Summit.
I gotta get a Baldy shirt or a hat.
He's going to send a
good
bunch.
merch. Yeah,
he's going to send. Are you kidding me? He's going to send a whole Baldy breakdown.
Yeah.
My man Boo loves that ball. He goes. Baldy makes me tingle.
Hey now.
I got to give Boo a Baldy breakdown.
Yeah. Get Boo over to the grotto.
The best was while we were having an interview, VG's looking at weightlifters, like Bulgarian Olympic weightlifters.
Yeah, I got the 2023 women's hammer throw finals I was watching to see who I could bet. Yeah.
All right, let's hit some nugs.
Hey, man, there's these AI things, bots. One of them predicted the next future Super Bowl matchups. And till 2034, and never once do they mention the Eagles.
Wow. This is the AI-generated Super Bowl picks.
Yeah.
So this year is Chiefs-Rams?
I guess. Is that this year, 2025?
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be this year.
And then the Bills recover. They rebuild that quick.
Yeah, that sounds well. I mean,
Bills, Packers.
Allen would still be good, so they could tweak it.
Yeah,
that's plausible.
They got the Rams make it 3 times. The Chiefs make it 3 times. Ravens a couple.
Here's the thing: how are the Chiefs going to make it all the way down? Like, is Mahomes going to play all those years?
2032. Yeah. What's that? 8 years? How old is he now?
He said
30?
he's going to retire. Like, he's not going to play till he's. He even made a point to say he's not going to play until he's Brady's age.
Dude, they got the Cowboys make it twice, and the Patriots. The Patriots make a Super Bowl according to AI before the Eagles do.
I mean, come on, it's AI.
Is it a Sirianni effect?
I mean, do you believe it?
I can't.
The Sirianni effect.
Hey,
AI.
Even AI's on the same page.
Yeah, but what if Sirianni gets fired?
And
you get your wish.
Yeah, then everything reboots.
But Belichick's the coach.
Right, then it reboots. And it's Eagles.
What will it take for you to give Nick a chance?
I'm giving him a chance.
You're not.
I'm all in this year. I think they're going to be good this year. He's going to get out of the way.
Stab my man.
Yeah, he's going to get out of the way.
You stab him.
We're good.
He's going to get out of the way. Oh, my God.
I mean,
it's his production.
Even Bo Wolf's talking about how the offense looks cleaner. It's more creative. They got Jalen running the ball again.
Oh, it doesn't take it.
It took somebody getting out of the way.
No, I don't believe that. I mean, seriously, you don't need to be Shanahan to put Hurts in the run game.
Well, apparently you can't be Sirianni and do it. So maybe you got to be somebody else.
What else you got?
Hey, speaking about looking good, Dayball, he hopped on the field. He lost some weight. I don't know if it's the stress of Hard Knocks, but they say he lost like 40 pounds when he popped on the field, all slim there.
Brian Daboll, look at that.
Yeah, 50 pounds. Lost approximately 50 pounds.
50 pounds, wow.
Yeah, that's what that Joe Shane, is that his name? That's what that'll do to you.
Yeah, Joe Shane. Where's your weight loss? Joe Shane or Zempic?
More good bods. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers is a hooper.
Dude.
He's out there. Look, he looks good, man.
He looks
great.
The
Lakers gear on.
He looks great.
Yeah, little saggy dad pouch going on, but he's killing it.
He looks good.
Yeah, look at the shot form. I don't like he's looking to the side. He's blocking his view.
Yes,
like he can't see what's going on there.
No, that's a false look.
Yeah,
that's a one. Like it's funny. Versace on our intern and our little baby hoop that we have here has a Ben Simmons approach shot.
Yes,
right.
Well,
Flea has a Markelle Fultz. The way he's got his hand like that.
Yeah, he's peeking around.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Yeah.
But I thought he looked good without the shirt on.
You remember Darryl Griffith?
No.
Where he would
over the head like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a great
couple
look.
guys like World Free.
Oh, yeah.
Was like that.
I know you're not, I should probably mention this nugget with TV Todd, but there's a good Dallas Cowboys. We got Hard Knocks with the Giants. There's a good Cowboys reality show in the top 10 in Netflix. All about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and the tryouts and stuff. Well, the woman who's running it, she's under a bunch of heat. She's like a little bit of a tyrant, like a Tortorella who runs this. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. No, the people who are watching this are flipping out on her. Her name is Kelly Finglass. She makes $1.5 million, they say, to run this Cowboys cheerleaders.
She makes $1.5 million
and
to run cheerleaders.
The cheerleaders are making $12 an hour for their practices, and they get $400 a game. They have eating disorders. There's all this mental stress. This lady, Kelly Finglass, is all about yo, you got to tighten this up here, push this to the side. So she's a villain.
Wow.
A lady who she probably never thought she'd be a villain. In this reality show.
How's she making $1.5 million running cheerleaders?
Dude, it's a big production there, man.
But you got to at least pay the girls
$12 an hour.
That's not right.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah,
and they're under so much stress. They work really hard. And when you watch it, there's orthodontists. There's people with real professions.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would they do this to themselves? But yeah. So Kelly Finglass, she's the evil,
evil
Cowboys villain. Her and Jerry on the yacht, just breaking down videos of these cheerleaders instead of Dak and wide receivers.
Tolbert,
yeah. I feel vindicated. If you ask me what the worst song in the world is in rock and roll, I have one that comes to mind easily. It's Starships, We Built This City.
Oh.
So Grace Slick has come out as part of the band and said, yes, this song stinks. It is the worst song. Are
you serious?
Yes, the worst song ever. She said it's the worst song ever. We built this city on rock and roll.
Oh, and why is it that you can't escape a day without hearing it somewhere? You go into any kind of store.
Well, yeah, it's
like whatever supermarket.
Yes,
right.
It's
like the supermarket playlist. Can you take it off there? I run it for 3 seconds to go grab whatever.
It puts
milk
you in
and
no
bread.
malaise, so you take your time walking through. It's like, oh,
we built this city.
yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Props to Grace for making me feel vindicated on that one, because I know some people who like it, and I'm like, this is like a joke song.
Yeah.
We got a lobster. A rare lobster was found off the coast of Portsmouth. It's 1 in 100 million. A blue lobster.
Look at that thing. It looks like it's spray painted. That's a great color.
Yeah.
The blue lobster.
1 in 1 million. 1 in 100 million. Let me take that back. 1 in 100 million is the
1 in 100 million. The blue lobster.
Yeah.
Do you know about the white buffalo?
No. An albino buffalo?
Yes.
What?
My man Vinny knows all about the white buffalo.
White buffalo.
Yeah, the white buffalo is like a signal that something's happening.
Is it is it something? Are there any zoos with white buffaloes?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Provolone John wants to know if it tastes different. Come on, nobody even eats it. They throw it back. It's so rare. Nobody
You can't
eats
eat
that.
the blue lobster.
No, you can't eat blue lobster.
No, you got to save the blue lobster.
Yeah, and one more. This is a good lead-in for TV Todd. You see Apple TV's cutting back their series.
Yeah.
Netflix gets more views in a day than Apple does in a month, Apple TV.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah.
In a day.
Netflix rules.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's a shame, man, because the only way you get it, like you get subs, is with a good series.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's how it works. Hey, don't forget here at PHLY, all the stuff, all the written stuff, all of our shows daily. Become a diehard, man. We really appreciate it. Come a diehard. You get all kinds of great stuff, all of our great content from our insiders, and of course, everything. So thanks, man. Become a diehard. We appreciate that. All right. You know what that means?
Todd.
It's Friday. What are we watching?
Oof,
TV Todd. Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV Todd.
Todd. What do you say, brother?
Flyers Cup.
Got the Flyers Cup here. Good morning, my brothers.
Yo, we're flyered up. You know that. Did you see
this
Danny
is a big
on the show
week,
the other
right?
day? We had Danny Briere on the show the other day.
Yeah, I heard Danny on there. Big week with Mitchkoff, TK signing. Fantastic week.
Yeah. We're
You like
excited.
the TK signing?
I do, but for the reason you mentioned earlier, VG, I think you mentioned it earlier. TK is a great role player. To me, he's not the guy you want to build the team around. But once they got Mitchkoff, no-brainer for me to keep TK long-term.
Yeah, because you still need guys like him of his ilk. And he's a guy that could be a piece for you.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. You got to recruit pieces.
You know who he is to me, Rod Brindamore. He's the Rod Brindamore.
That's a good
role.
comparison.
That's a great. Wow, TV Todd.
Yeah.
TV Todd knows hockey, man.
Yeah.
He knows all
That's
sports.
right. That's right.
You do, man. That's impressive. So, couple things. First of all, did you see VG's nug about Apple TV cutting back on its series?
Yeah, what I thought VG was going to mention as part of that is, not only is their viewership down, but I read an article where the show Severance, which is a fantastic show, I love it, season 2's coming out soon, $20 million an episode to make that.
What? $20 million an episode? How in the world does the economics work on a show that's $20 million to produce an episode?
Well, you know what? Before last week, I would say it works because it's Apple. They got lots of money. They just move it around from division to division. But they even admitted they are cutting back on their budget significantly, and they have to.
Is that show good? I've never seen it. It's great. $20 million budget.
Great show. I can't wait for season 2. I highly recommend it.
What's the premise?
The premise is these people go to work at this company, and because there's highly secretive things that are happening there, every day there's a little thing that's done where they don't remember where they were every day. They have no idea what they do for work or where they are, and the show goes from there.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah, it was good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
The thing that's depressing to me with the new trend of these series is that it's 2 and they're done. Like, I mean, when you first get used to the character and you fall in love with the character, 2 seasons is torture. Because by the second season, I'm in on the show. And then I need that second arc of season 3, 4, 5, and I don't get it. It's the worst possible thing for a fan of TV series.
Well, listen, we've talked about this. This is the difference between the British model and the model here in the United States. We beat our series to death, so our audiences expect that a series they love is going to be on forever. And that's not the way it is in other countries. Other countries plan out the arc. They do 2 seasons, maybe a special, maybe a film, and they get out. So I see both sides of it.
Well, not Peaky Blinders. That was BBC. I mean, and that thing was an epic series that went, 6, 7?
Yeah, they're the exception. Orphan Black, I think, is one that did that in the UK. But at the end of the day, they're exceptions, like the original Office and shows like that. They're usually, Fleabag, which was a giant comedy hit, did 1 season. I mean, we're the only country that really decides if we get a hit, we are just going to beat it into the ground for years.
Yeah, but I'm not. But again, there are series that I'm not asking for 10. But I'm asking for 5, right?
Fair.
5 really good seasons you can do, and you do it well. Sometimes that's not enough to do 2. I'm talking dramas, not comedy.
Right, and here's where I come down on it ultimately. I don't care how many seasons it is, as long as it is planned out from the beginning to the end in the writer's room. What I hate is a series that just meanders along. They come up with new ideas every year, and next thing you know, it's canceled, and you lose it completely. That's not cool. If you're going to do 5 seasons, plan out the story arc, the character's arc from beginning to end, and I guarantee you it'll be a better show.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm in, I'm out. I like 2 seasons. I like that model. I hate 5 or 6 seasons. Such a commitment.
Oh, my God. What do you mean a commitment? If you like the show, it's not a commitment, but it's a joy.
Maybe it's me. I don't think the writers are good enough anymore to drag stuff out.
Watch
for 4
Gomorrah.
or 5, 6
Did you watch
seasons.
Gomorrah?
I couldn't even get it. I'm just not. Gomorrah's not my jam.
Well, it's a drama. You don't like crime dramas.
Yeah, I'm not on the crime drama.
Yeah. You like these. I'm talking about your artistic side.
Now I'll be back for season 3 of Love Island for sure.
You and I have the complete opposite taste of everything.
I just have.
You don't like any drama.
I just think they're bad. I think they're poorly written. They just don't carry me or suck me. It's very rare that I get sucked into a drama and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch this. I couldn't even get into Succession. Everyone loves that.
Oh, I thought it was great. I loved it.
I couldn't get into that. It's too much.
Well, there you go.
And then once you're behind, you got so much to catch up on. It's like, I got to watch 4 seasons of this.
Well, first of all, Success is what, 3 seasons? Yeah.
I think it was 3, yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. It was a great show.
They all sucked. I wish I had no interest in any characters.
You like Love Island.
Yeah.
Well, you ripped Succession.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, a lot.
I guess you can't.
I'll applaud your honesty, VG. Like you're honest about it, which is great. And you know what? You're not wrong. The writers' rooms are getting smaller. AI has come into the mix. So doing a show for longer periods of time is definitely, it's going to go off the rails at some point. But I got to say, I'm with Cuz 100%. Succession is one of the best shows in the last decade.
All right. Like Breaking Bad, I was all in. I like that. But it's been a while since I've been all in on a drama.
Yeah, Breaking Bad was a great show.
Yeah. Cinematography, lighting. It felt like every episode felt like a movie. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't get that feeling from dramas anymore.
Wow. All right. I mean, like Peaky Blinders was, I just love that show.
I'm sure I would. I feel it's too much to make up for me. I'm so far behind on it.
It's not about being behind. It's like I look at you and go, I'm envious because you've never seen it, and then you'll be able to go in and you have something to enjoy.
Yeah, it feels like a chore. It feels like a chore to catch up.
Who are you catching up to? You're not catching up to anybody else. Who cares? You already missed it. Now you can actually savor it, enjoy it.
It feels like a lot. Ed Wright's asking me about Ozarks. Ozarks, I hated every character in Ozarks. I wanted them all to die. Ozark. So I have no interest.
Just like
it's the Ozarks, isn't it? The mountain area, the Ozarks.
Yes, but the show was called
Ozark.
But
see, that makes no sense either. That makes no sense.
You're like a Philadelphia sports fan. But added the S.
This show's in the Ozarks, but we're going to call it Ozark. Come on, how does that even make sense?
Well, listen, VG. So you are one of these people who do not like the trend that started with The Sopranos. Sopranos started a trend that they wanted to make every character in a show unlikable in their own way. They're all unlikable in their own way. They're all not good people in their own way. Started with The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, you keep going, Succession, now Industry. All these shows are shows where people are really not good from top to bottom, and people tend to love those shows.
But the beauty for me is when the writers can do that, but make you sympathetic and like one of those characters. And I have a hard time in a lot of those shows. Like you felt Breaking Bad, yeah, man. You felt what the dude was going through, like facing.
Well,
all
the
that,
anti-hero has always been a staple of storytelling.
Yeah, so now it's like, oh, they're all horrible people, but they haven't found a way in most of these shows to suck me in to root for any of them. So.
All right. Well, on that note, let's talk about
Kaylor and Aaron on Love Island 2. I hope they make it. I hope that relationship succeeds.
All right, Todd. I don't know what to say. I gotta talk to you about those about to die. All right, because when I watched the first episode, I was excited to watch it, and I watched the first episode. This is a gladiator type of a show, right? It's the Roman Empire. It's togas and emperors. So I watched the first episode, and anytime it's like big, it felt a little claymation to me, right? Like it was a little. But I got to tell you, the acting, the writing, the story is great. It's truly modern day, what's happening right now in our society. I love the show, even though looks a little weird.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more, Cuz, on this. The show is big. The show, at times, especially in the earlier episodes, the backgrounds, the CGI, it all looks fake. I did wonder if the creators were trying to go for like sort of a comic booky type feel. I don't think so. But as the show goes on, there's definitely that goes away a little bit, and you focus more on the story and the acting. And I agree, the parallels in the story of the chariot betting and how important sports is to the lives and controlling the people in the town. Give them bread and sports gambling, right? That's all they need. There are so many parallels to today. Not enough Anthony Hopkins for me. Listen, I know he was only in Silence of the Lambs for 16 minutes. I get it. But at the end of the day, I always want more Anthony Hopkins. So I'm with you. But for some reason, I'm in about episode 4 or 5. I'm definitely going to see it through.
Yeah, I think it's well done. The story, the writing is excellent. I like the dialogue's good. It's actually good. It's a good show. And it's funny because the way it was looking, I was like, I was kind of getting disappointed. Now, it wasn't like Hotel Cocaine or the Cocaine Hotel, right? Which I love the premise of it. I was like, this could be really good. The acting was terrible. The writing was terrible. It looked terrible.
Yeah.
Looked like dress up. This is good, man. It's good stuff.
I couldn't get past the corny CGI stuff. I tried the first episode, and for me, that's just like, all right, if this looks bad, then why am I wasting my time? I want a pure art form. I want the acting to be good. I want the writing to be good, and I want the cinematography and the vibe and the look to be good. Why am I sitting through this if they can't even give me a big scene without it looking like it's fake?
Yeah, I think it's fair what you're saying, but I do say I have found that if you stick to this series, that goes away. And it becomes more about the acting, the storyline. In fact, the CGI, I didn't even notice it in the later episodes. I noticed it in the first episode or two.
Yeah, yeah. What else you got, buddy?
So this is again perfect for our discussion. Let's move away from the series and let's get back to watching features again. That's been my big push. The 2-hour feature film needs to be watched more, needs to be viewed in a theater or home, whatever you want to do. But there are some great movies out now. So I broke a little bit of a trend that for me, I am not a fan, and I have, for some reason, have never been a fan of Disney films. I don't know why. I find them formulaic. Obviously, there's a lot that are geared towards children, families, which is fine. Just not my cup of tea, right? So with the Olympics being here, I wanted to watch a film on who's streaming it? It's on. Is it Apple? I can't remember what it's on. It's on Disney. It's on their platform. So it's called Young Woman in the Sea, and it's this biopic about this woman named Gertrude Ederle. And she was an American swimming champion. She went to the 1924, think about that, 1924 Paris Olympics.
Wow.
And when she came back, she needed to prove herself, and she became the first woman to swim the English Channel.
Right,
True story.
Yeah.
True story.
I read about this,
My daughter this film, I thought it was interesting and it would be cinematic and whatnot, but I had very low expectations. Being a Disney film, absolutely loved it. One of the best films I've seen in a long time. Amazing actors in it. It's got the guy, Stephen Graham, who played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful film. Acted amazing from beginning to end. VG, it's got the guy, the guy who plays like the head of the CIA or whatever in Killing Eve.
Yeah.
He plays her father in it, and it is fantastic. So but think about this. 1924 Paris Olympics covered in this movie. We're here now today in 2024 in the Paris Olympics. And what's the greatest Olympic movie of all time?
Chariots of Fire.
See if you guys can guess. Chariots of Fire. 1980, about runners training for what Olympics? The 1924 Paris Olympics.
Oh, wow. Full circle. That's awesome.
Full circle. So if anyone wants to watch, real good Olympic films or Olympic adjacent, it doesn't have to be just purely Olympics. Chariots of Fire, 1980, and Young Woman in the Sea in 2024. Highly recommend both.
That's cool.
Wait a minute. The Lake Placid hockey team's not the greatest Olympic movie ever made?
Miracle.
Yeah.
It is for me as a hockey fan, but I think if you ask most people, they go Chariots of Fire.
Yeah, I mean, I love Miracle.
Yeah,
it's great. Great.
Todd,
film.
I went to the movie this weekend.
What'd you see?
Long Legs.
What's your review?
I dug it. I thought it was going to be more of a horror movie. It turned out to be more of a crime thriller, and not enough Nick Cage for me as the crazy old glam rocker dude. But he was great in the scenes. I loved it. I mean, I dug it. I didn't love the movie, but I loved him.
Yeah, your takeaway there is pretty much what everybody's saying. Marketed incorrectly, talked about incorrectly. It's not exactly some slasher, gore, thriller, but it's good. And Nicolas Cage, for the limited time he appears, absolutely becomes Academy Award worthy. That's this buzz on the film.
It's hard to believe it's even him in the role. You're like, is that him? When he first comes on the screen, because he's in makeup and stuff, you're like, is that Nick Cage? But yeah, he was solid.
He's great, man. He's really good. Like I love these old school actors. The other film I'm really excited about this week, I haven't watched it yet because I think it comes out today. It's on HBO and Max, is the film that Michael Keaton stars in and directs. He's only directed maybe like once or twice in his entire career. It's a film called Knox Goes Away, K-N-O-X, Knox Goes Away. And it's a story. He plays a hitman who's suffering from dementia and is starting to go on a path to try and redeem himself. And it was a Sundance film. It's getting tons of buzz.
Wow. That sounds interesting.
That's out this week. So, if your audience can start going back and watching stuff like that, I think that would be fantastic.
Well, give me. All right, so I have my Mossmos, me and him tonight. And I was going to either go fighting, see the Phils, or take him to the movies. What would I see? What would I take my 11-year-old to go see?
Right now in the theaters, if you're taking an 11-year-old, go see Twisters.
Okay.
It's. I know it's a reboot from Twister and whatnot, but people are saying it is the summer blockbuster. It's fun. They're loving it. Kids are digging it. I think that'd be a winner for an 11-year-old.
Okay,
for sure.
All right, that's good. All right, Todd, you're the best, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Always appreciate it.
All right, you around later?
I am. Give me a shout.
All right. I like it. Todd.
The best.
He's fun.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you're out on all these series.
Out.
You watch this garbage television. You have this.
You haven't even seen it to say it's garbage. Watch an episode or two.
Come on, Love Island. What else do you watch? You watch all these crap.
Love is Blind.
Love Island, Love is Blind.
Traders.
Jules, you watching this stuff?
No, never.
No.
Not reality. I'm into more like true crime reality docuseries. I like those.
You like the docu-series, the true crime stuff.
Yeah. And dramas, yeah.
That's the market. Like the women love the true crime stuff.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
And the VGs love the love stories.
Yeah, Love Island.
Yeah, you and our GM Vinny Pellegrini loves. How about him, Jules? He loves Hallmark
Channel.
He's a Hallmark movie nut
all the time, year round too.
Hallmark movie nut.
So Vince, who's one of the
he's a
great soul, he's a great guy. He is. He also is like we call him Nonna because he's an Italian grandmother. Like right away, when you want to eat, like he's got treats and candies, the grandma had the hard candy dish.
Yes.
He's walking candy.
He's got donuts every day.
Yeah, and he makes sure you're right. If there's nothing wrong, we'll eat.
Yeah,
we'll eat. He's the best. All right, and you like Love is Blind.
Oh, it's so good.
Love Island. Oh,
you can't write what goes on those shows.
All right, well, pretty soon, man, it's gonna be football time. No chance to watch anything else.
Oh, hey, it's Olympic time. Late entry in the Nugs, Simone Biles has submitted a new original move she's going to do on the parallel bars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the uneven bars. The uneven bars.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
It's a variation off the Canadian Wilhelm Weiler move. She's got a little clear hip circle forward with 1.5 turns to handstand. So, yeah.
That's great gymnastics knowledge out of you.
Yeah, let's go, man.
That's impressive.
Opening ceremony is 1:30.
Somewhere Tooch is laughing right now. The burnout. He calls you the burnout.
Yeah,
the burnout's got them.
Yeah, man. Take your greens and put on opening ceremonies.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Jules, great job.
Nice work, Jules.
Appreciate it. It's Versace.
Always Versace.
Good job, Versace. Everybody, thanks for hanging with us as always. Have a great weekend. We love you guys. We'll see you Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.